Hey, hunters.
Hey everybody! Happy Sunday! Welcome back. Long time no see.
Yeah. I see we got Nikki Boo who missed us for our special coverage and was bummed. So I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for being here, Nikki. We have a very special guest on this week. Back from her Honduras trip. Everybody please welcome the Brizzle, aka the Brizzler. Hey
Hey,
y'all.
girl. So I don't know that many of us know much about you. So I'm kind of excited to get to know who you are, where you hunt, what the hell you were doing in El Salvador and Honduras. So why don't you tell us how you started with Coin Hunt World and where you hunt?
Okay, so I live in Austin, Texas. So obviously I hunt in Austin, Texas. And how I started with Coin Hunt World was not how most people start. I guess like a lot of people kind of started with they were on Reddit and they like found a post or something like that. But actually I kind of got a little fat during COVID,
Didn't
and
we
so
all?
some maybe more than others. And so I was like, oh man, I really need to rectify this. So I kind of made it my New Year's resolution for the start of this year. I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk off this weight. But then I kind of my husband likes to say that I don't ever really do anything for free. I have to monetize everything.
Oh,
So
I'm the
then
same way.
I like that thinking.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, obviously there's got to be some apps out there that are basically gonna pay me to walk and get in shape. So I tasked him, I got online and I was looking up apps that give you gift cards to walk, or apps that pay you money to walk. And I was like, there's got to be an app that pays you crypto to walk too. And so I couldn't find one, but I was like, look, you're in charge of this. Go find us an
New
app.
project.
Yeah, go find us an app that will pay us crypto to walk. And so he found some article online, and it was the top 10 apps that pay crypto or whatever. And then Coin Hunt was on there, and
Was that playtoearn.net? Because that's how I found the game too. Was playtoearn.net.
I would have to ask him, to be honest. I'm not really sure. I just delegated that, and
Yeah.
when he came back with it, I was like, yeah. So then I loaded all these apps on my phone, and I was like, great, I'm gonna triple dip everything. And so yeah, that's basically how I got started. So that was maybe a week, 2 weeks into January. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure when it was in January, because if you go to your player account, it doesn't show when
Yeah.
you started playing. And obviously, I had to build out UVs first, and before I leave to uphold, so there's delay on that too. But before playing Coin Hunt, I had already played Pokemon Go, and so I kind of well, when we first opened this game, it was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. But we didn't really know system vaults versus user vault. We knew nothing basically. We just opened it, and we live in a city. So we saw some basically system vaults.
I
And
have to ask real quick.
uh,
What part of Austin?
okay, so I live south of downtown.
Okay.
So I don't know, are you familiar with the Austin layout?
So I spent 2 full days in Austin. One day I stayed right next to the Congress Avenue Bridge, and then one day I stayed in the Domain. So I know the Domain is north, and the
Yeah,
Congress
okay.
Avenue Bridge is kind of downtown. So you're south of that?
I'm south of downtown. Yeah. So
Okay.
we had to build our own loop basically. And that's actually one of the things I like so much about this game, because I had played Pokemon Go a lot, and the part I liked about Pokemon Go was walking and socializing. And then as it got more and more you do raids and driving your car, I wasn't really into that side of it. And so I kind of, and then nobody was walking after it. Basically it became a card game. And so the
Yeah.
whole community fell apart. And also the only place that was really safe and had good amount of the Pokestops for that was like downtown, and then at night it can get kind of sketchy. So basically, you have to play on the Capitol. So I'd go walk the Capitol at night, but I had to drive in, right? That's like probably like 15-minute drive to like drive from my house into the Capitol. So this game, I was like, so I was always like in Pokemon, I was like, God, if they would just let me build Pokestops like right by my house, like, this would be like so perfect. And then this game, I was like, oh my God, it's like my dream. I can basically build all the vaults where I want. Yeah, so, because like I do live in a neighborhood, but I like my backyard backs up to like kind of like a not like a highway or anything, but like an actual like kind of like main city road. And then I live like in a like a mixed use area, I guess and so there's like a lot of like shops, and there's like a like plaza shopping.
It's the suburbs.
Yeah, but no, it's not. It's no, because the suburbs down here are just like planned out.
Just residential.
Just residential. Yeah, I guess I'm what you would call like the old urban core. Like I'm not like quite like downtown, but it's still like we call it like the mixed use or urban core for Austin. Like it's basically before Austin started doing zoning. I live in that part of Austin.
Nice.
So that's interesting because our like suburbs are like what you're describing. Like we've got our own little like shopping malls and our plazas and like our main drags of like retail and restaurants and stuff, but that's the suburbs here.
So like here when they build suburbs, like it would basically be like along the highway, they'd put like the whole highway would basically be like strips of movie theaters and restaurants and shops and all that kind of stuff, and then like on the they build neighborhoods behind that, and then they wouldn't really have like city streets, if that makes sense. It would just be like neighborhoods peeling off of like the highway, like I-35 or Mopac or something like that. But I don't really live that far out. Like I live in the part where like it's bike lanes and there's the city buses run, and like my house is built in 1960, so like it's
nice.
That's like where I live. I mean, my house was built in the 70s. We've got like bike lanes and like walking paths and like a little golf course, but we call that the suburbs here. Like because our city is so much smaller.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So like Austin really didn't like start booming and developing until like 2000. Like that first tech bubble boom is so like actually in the 70s. Okay, it's just Texans are crazy basically. So in the 70s there was like way back when Austin was really
big.
They took a vote and they were like, okay, do we want to basically like build like loops? Like what most cities have, like they have loops like concentric rings that
the 101 and like
that go out in bigger and bigger rings to like connect around the city. Like so you have good drivability, transportation. So
Texas is not known for that.
Well, like Houston has it, and San Antonio has it, and Dallas has it. And I mean, like the loops aren't like perfect circles, but they're there. So, but in the 70s, they like Austin took a vote, and the voters literally said, if we don't build it, no one will move here.
If we don't build it, they won't come. That's not good planning.
Yes. Exactly. And like now, like, okay, whatever, fast forward, people came, and Austin has like, I think we recently surpassed LA on some of the worst traffic in the country.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
We're in like, we've been in the top 5 for a long time now, and there is zero planning happening on it. Like, there's not a solution, because what are you going to do like without like a whole like bunch of like neighborhoods? So you can't now build it is the problem. So there's no solution in sight for this.
My experience is that all of Texas has the worst traffic I've ever experienced. Like I wouldn't say Austin is alone in that. Like I hate driving through Dallas. I hate it. I always go to Dallas for things like shows and stuff, but like I hate getting there. I always make someone else drive, because like I'll drive as far as like Denton. Once we hit Denton, someone else is driving, because otherwise like I have to have like heavy metal playing, and I have to be chain smoking, and like no one can talk to me because I'm trying to survive.
I don't think it's that bad, but obviously, if you're used to it. I mean, I think Houston is the worst, personally, because Houston is always under construction. So if you go to Houston, I mean, they have freeways that are 6 lanes each way, and it's still under construction. Like, it's like as soon as, like, they were widening stuff from 4 to 6 for forever, like 10 years. And then the second they're done widening to 6, they're like, oh, we got to widen it again. It's like, it's never not under construction. Like,
It's like, cut the shit, we're done. Let's take a break with the freeways.
Yeah, Texas just really needs to get on, like, some subway infrastructure. Like, really, and then they need to just, like, create bullet trains that go between, like, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas, but that's never going to happen. Like, for many political reasons, Texas is not the state that's happening in.
Well,
it's supposed to happen in California, and it still hasn't happened, so.
Elon's down there now. He might change that. He's all about the bullet train thing. Like, that's a big thing for him. And he's down in, like, in like, Brownsville area, so.
While we're on that topic.
Elon moved here because he kind of wanted the Texas Republican, we don't tax you benefits.
I know.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't come here to, like, Californify us. He came here to take advantage of, like,
I know.
How Texas will benefit.
Like all the rest of the Californians that are moving there.
But he has done his best, from what I know, he's done his best to improve the area around where he is, because he's donated a ton of money to the education system in southern Texas. So, like, that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I live with an Elon fanboy. I hate Elon as a person. I love him as a science mind. So I own
a lot of Tesla stock. I believe in the product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, my last time I went to Texas was specifically, like, I went through Austin specifically because we went to Starbase. Like, that was our vacation. We went to South Padre specifically to spend a week down at Starbase and just check it out.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah. It was really cool, but South Padre was kind of gross.
Well, yeah. Well, so you mentioned that you drive through Dallas for shows. What shows do you do?
Oh, like everything. The last time.
Your time?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, do you do shows? Like,
no.
Okay.
This is the extent of my shows.
Okay, got it.
For now.
Yeah, I think the last time I was down there, we saw Alanis Morissette at, like, the Texas, like, the fairgrounds down in Dallas, and then at one point we also saw Volbeat and Ghost, which was really cool. And I love, like, the Gas Monkey lounge place in Dallas. That place is pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah. Big names tend to go to Dallas and Fort Worth before they come to Oklahoma City. So sometimes we don't get the best shows and we got to drive.
Yeah, you're very committed. No.
Oh, when I was younger, I was such a groupie. I would drive 6 hours to go to a concert. Like, it was bad.
When I was young, like, basically San Antonio was the limit. And then it was like, it had to be, like, I really, really had to want to see it. Like, then I wasn't doing it.
Oh, yeah. I'm a music junkie.
Yeah, you guys have that amazing music festival ACL in Austin.
And South by Southwest.
And South by Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go. I actually have a friend that got to perform in South by Southwest, and I didn't get to go see them, and I was, like, really bummed about it.
Oh, no.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Oh, well. So
that's what I did for my 21st birthday was ACL. It was ACL. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. I don't remember my 21st birthday.
I mean, I remember mine, but we probably shouldn't talk about it.
I drank something
a little bit of time.
Oh. I drank something that was on fire, and I don't remember anything after that. So
that's like a christening on the 21st. Everybody has to do it.
Yeah.
But I did drink heavily on Rainy Street. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, okay, so you must be kind of young because Rainy Street is like a new thing. So
okay.
Rainy Street has only been Rainy Street for like maybe a decade. Before that, it was kind of like crack housing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like Oklahoma City.
So
we have like all of our best areas all used to be crack streets. It's great. Yeah. Awesome.
So yeah, but like 6th Street does when you turn when it's your birthday, you get a free birthday shot. So at each like bar or pub, so it's pretty common on your 21st birthday, you basically bar or crawl until you
Pass out.
pass out or start throwing up from alcohol poisoning, and
Yeah. Sounds about right.
yeah.
So, speaking of trips, though, so you just went to El Salvador and Honduras. So, what took
Yeah.
you there?
Okay, so I like to just travel in general, and after we had a kid, we kind of weren't like really traveling as much because I was like, oh, you can't really take your kid. Well, I mean, we do travel, but like without our kid. But I was like, anyway, I had this friend, and she's like, you just need to like get on with it and like travel, take your kid international, and like whatever. And the last time we gone anywhere was like 2019. We went to Croatia before the pandemic hit, and then kind of like the pandemic hit, no one's going anywhere because no one can really go anywhere. You can't fly anywhere anyway. And then I was like, I was getting like cabin fever. I was like, I want to travel again. And for some reason, I was just like, I really want to go to Honduras this time. Like I've been to most of Europe, and I've been to like Taiwan and Guatemala and Mexico and Costa Rica, and so
Dang.
this time let's go to Honduras or whatever. So my husband was like, okay. And so then then like the whole El Salvador thing happens. I'm like, well, wait, now we have to like make a special add-on and go over to El Salvador just to play this game.
Yeah.
Like, okay, crazy. They're adjacent countries, so like
Yeah.
it didn't look like traveling back and forth between the two of them was going to be that hard. I mean, like on paper.
But you're in Latin America.
Yeah, okay. So, like, in reality, that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, the El Salvador is, like, super chill about their borders. Okay, so we flew into Honduras. Honduras is, like, still crazy about COVID. Like, okay, so.
They were really careful. Yeah.
It's mandatory masks everywhere in Honduras still. And you have to like sign all this paperwork. Like it's like a pre-check and like a pre-health check. And then you also have to have your vaccine cards with you. You have to be vaccinated to come in the country. So I'm like, damn, y'all are like bonkers. And then like I look up El Salvador and it's like COVID precautions. None.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to do the same thing when I went to Honduras. They had the pre-check, and then they had just created the health pre-check. And so it didn't work properly.
Oh, so you also went to Honduras?
Yeah, I went
cool.
around last Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, their pre-check thing is like still like a steaming pile of not working. Okay, so basically, like when you fly in, it's fine because you're on an airplane and you submit everything like digitally with your flight. So I thought like everything's gonna be like hunky dory, right? Okay, so then we fly into Honduras and then we leave Honduras to go to El Salvador. But the way that the roads are, you have to go through Guatemala. Like you spend 2 hours driving through Guatemala to go from Honduras to El Salvador. Even though there is a road that goes directly from Honduras to El Salvador, apparently nobody uses it because it's like sketchy.
Yeah.
Sketchy. I don't know. But then so we're in El Salvador for part of it, and then we go back to Honduras. And when we go back to Honduras, that's like when all shit hits the fan. Like it was crazy. So like coming out of Honduras to Guatemala, it's like both countries require visas, so they stamp you. That's fine. And then Guatemala into El Salvador is fine. They like exit stamp you. And the guy who was like the bus driver was like, make sure that Guatemala stamps you on the exit stamp because El Salvador isn't giving you stamps, and so like it's gonna be a problem if Guatemala doesn't stamp you out. So like. They do, everything's great. So when we were like, we have someone driving us back from El Salvador back into Honduras and we go to the border, and this was like freaking crazy. Like I think on Discord at the time, and I was like, oh, we're crossing the border or whatever. Yeah, like an hour and a half later, we actually were crossing the border because they have 5 freaking checks on the border. Like, and the first one is like, they're looking at our stuff and they're like, in Spanish, which I can speak some, but I'm not like fluent enough to have a conversation about like what's wrong with the passport stamp. They're like complaining about my passport stamp coming out of Guatemala, which is identical to my husband and son's stamp. So I don't even understand. And that like took 30 minutes, and then they like check our vaccine cards, and then they have us walk like 10 feet, and then other people check our vaccine cards, and then you walk another 20 feet, and then they're like, did you do the pre-check? And all this is in Spanish. And then we're like, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, you got to do it again. And we're
Oh my gosh.
we just did that. Like we literally
nothing changed in this last 10 seconds.
Yeah, no. And they're like, no, you have to do it again. Scan the code and do it right here. So we do it, and it's really long. The health pre-check, like, not only do you have to you have to put in all your personal information, where you're going, the exact addresses, like,
yep.
Scan a picture of your passport, scan a picture of your vaccine card, manually enter every single piece of information from your vaccine card and your passport. It's like crazy. So I'm like, okay, great, submitted. And they're like, well, you didn't screenshot the submitted. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, you didn't tell me I had to. It's in your digital system. Just look it up. And they're like, yeah, we can't. And I'm like, then why is this like why? And of course, like, I'm not actually talking. I'm like talking to my go-between, who's like talking to them, the guy who speaks English and Spanish.
Your translator, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, then why are you having people submit this digitally? Like, why isn't it just on paper? So then we have to do it again. And it's like totally bonkers. So we show the lady the screenshot, and she's like, great, you can come into the building. You're going to need to show them that screenshot in the building. So we get in, we go through that queue, and then they're like passports. And then I'm like, here. And I'm expecting them to ask for this thing. And they're like, yeah, we don't need to see that.
Oh my God.
Oh,
you're like, you're going to see it because you want to know how much time I just took on this.
They're like, yeah, we don't care. Like, just, do you have vaccine cards? And like, yeah, they're like, we'll take those. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, so then we get out of that building, and then we go to the final building, which is basically like the final, I don't even know. It's like crazy, like all these checkpoints. So the final building, and then they're like giving you the final like stamp in or whatever, or looking at your passport. Like, they've looked at our passport 4 times now. And so then the El Salvadoran guy, they're like, go ahead. And then us, they're like, y'all are Americans, you have to pay. You have to pay.
What?
Yeah, whatever. We're back in the country. The end.
Wow. So when I went to Honduras, I flew in to Roatan, which just gets a lot of tourists all the time. So it wasn't that bad, but I know about the pre-check thing. But like I said, it was brand new. So like no one ever asked for it, which was crazy because we went, like, it took us forever to figure out how to even do it. And like I had to spend like an hour on the phone with my brother who lives in Utah, like talking him through how to do the whole thing because he didn't know. And it, like, it's all in Spanish. So like I had luckily found like some website that tells you like what to put in for everything. But like, yeah. And then they never even asked for it. And my brother was like, why did you make me do that thing? And I was like, that's what they said we had to do.
And I forgot to mention, the most frustrating part of it is, you remember, you have to put in your occupation, and it's not where you can write your occupation. It's from a list of drop downs.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Occupation was not a list of drop downs, but then it's also not like you can leave it blank. So it's like, like, what am I going to put here?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's funny because my mom who came with us, she's retired, but she like tutors kids in reading on the side. And like, I was like, well, what do we put? Because I didn't find a place that said like retired. So then I found like education. And so like I put it like a teacher. I'm like, she's not really a teacher, but okay.
Honestly,
you're not giving me very many options.
Like, they don't really care what you put in there. So it's like, well, why don't you let people like just write in instead of having to drop down? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Yeah,
I think they're trying to like discourage too many people from coming into the country, so that way they don't have COVID issues. I mean, it's working.
Yeah,
right?
Even the Salvadorian guy was like, it's a pain in the ass to go to Honduras. Like, you don't go there because it's a pain in the ass.
I mean, I thought it was worth it, but I was in Roatan. I mean, I've never been to the mainland, so I hear it's a little scary. But
no, it's not. But actually, we met a lot of like people on our travels who were like, you were in Honduras? Like, you know, it's the murder capital of the world. Like, how was it? And I was like, it's safer than El Salvador. Like,
Yeah.
we went to Roatan at the end also. Like, so we
You
started
did?
yeah, we started mainland, and then we went over to El Salvador, and then we went back over to Honduras, and we went to Roatan, and then spent like the final like 5 days there, and then left.
Wow. Rotan's literally my favorite place in the entire world.
Oh, it's really pretty, but I think maybe if we had just been like getting scuba dive certified, I would have liked it better. It was just like I think I like having more stuff to do.
Oh, yeah. Rotan's really the snorkel place for me. Like, I don't scuba, but I freaking love snorkeling. And I saw the most amazing things in that water. It was so beautiful.
The reefs are awesome there, but I don't know. It was like, I can only like really snorkel for so many hours a day for so many days in a row type of thing.
It also depends what part of like where did you stay in Roatan, or did you see the whole island?
Yeah, no, we saw the whole island. So we stayed in West Bay.
Okay, yeah.
Which is, I guess, like
that's the biggest touristy area, yeah.
Yeah, and then we took like the water taxis down to West End.
Yeah,
cute. And then we did like we did like all the typical stuff, like go to the sloth, the monkey.
Oh yeah, I've got pictures of like the whole family with the sloths and stuff. Yeah.
And then we went fishing and we went snorkeling and we just like a standard like beach island vacation.
Yeah. See, we the house we rented was in Sandy Bay, and our next door neighbors run a charter boat company, and they do these like day trips down to Cayos Cochinos, and then they do like deep sea fishing.
Yeah.
And oh my God, let me tell you, like we caught 10 giant tuna. Like they were giant to me. They're probably regular sized tuna. Which they like filleted one of them on the boat. We got to eat it as sashimi on the boat on our way home. And then like we got a couple of them to take home, and then my brother, who happens to be like a master chef, taught me how to fillet the fish. So that was really fun, like learning how to fillet a tuna. And then like he grilled them up on our like outside grill, and oh my God, it was like the best fish I've ever had in my life.
How did you fly all your fish home? Because I found that that's like a problem.
Well, we didn't bring it home. We brought it back to our home away from home in Sandy Bay. Got it. Yeah, because it was a big like family trip. So it was me and my boyfriend, his 2 kids, my mom, who had come from Rhode Island. Now she lives in Oklahoma, but at the time she was living in Rhode Island. That was like the trip where I was able to convince her to move to Oklahoma.
Yes.
And then my brother and his wife, who live in Utah, and then our friend Bruce, who lives in Oklahoma. Like she's just like, yeah, I'll tag along.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was a big cool. Like we rented like a big 3-story house on the beach, and it was I love it. I love Roatan because it's like the people there are like Okies. Like everyone is just so friendly, and like
people are friendly, but they're also out to hustle you. Like the locals are big time hustlers.
Well, yeah, if you spend your time in like West Bay and West End, definitely. And most of the hustlers are actually mainlanders. They're not the local Roatan people. So like the local Roatan people don't really spend time in West Bay and West End. So like if you want the local Roatan people, you go to like Sandy Bay and like the other parts of the island.
Cox and Hole, most of them live in Cox and Hole.
Yeah.
Did you go there at all?
Yeah, we went grocery shopping there. That was fun.
Like my favorite part of Honduras was actually the Copan ruins. Which are like, really,
I saw the pictures you had uploaded on Discord.
Yeah.
Those were gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have told you, like, if I knew you were going to Roatan, I would have told you to check out the brewery. I don't know if you went over to the brewery, but that's like...
No. Well, like, my husband doesn't, like, drink at all, and I don't drink beer, so...
Oh, well, I mean, even if you don't drink, like, the restaurant at the brewery is top-notch, and, like, just the area, like, it's this little cutout in paradise, like, surrounded by the jungle in the middle of the island. and
that
like
would've been
it's
cool.
it's
Yeah.
just beautiful there. Like we didn't like. I mean, we all shared like a flight of beers just so we could try them, but like you don't even have to drink there. It's just like a really cool place to hang out.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess I didn't really like think like. Well, I kind of didn't assume that anyone else on the server or anything had been to the places I was going. I mean, obviously people have been to El Salvador, but so I wasn't really like, hey, y'all, here's my itinerary. Have any advice? I didn't think about that. That I guess that would have been smart to do.
Yeah.
Eh,
What did bring you guys to Honduras, by the way?
Oh, pretty much. I just decided like, oh, Honduras sounds like a cool country that I want to visit. Well, because
Okay.
actually, okay, so actually, what was happening was I was like, I kind of wanted to go on like a little bit of a beachy vacation, I guess a little bit.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, well, like, let's go to Hawaii. And then I looked up prices for Hawaii and I was like, yeah, no, let's go to Honduras instead. That looks like
yeah,
way cheaper.
it's way cheaper. You can get there by noon, and like yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. So, what was the hunting like in El Salvador?
Shitty. Okay. So, oh
Yeah,
man,
walk
where
us
do I
through
even
this
start?
like white key, white vault, blue vault adventure.
Okay, so here's the thing about the keys is you get keys based on the color of the country that you downloaded your game in. So if you're from a blue key country and you go to a white key country, you're not going to get white keys while you're in that country, and vice versa. If downloaded your game in a white key country and you go visit the US, Canada, the UK, you're not going to get blue keys while you're there. You have to ask the devs to like switch you over, which I did talk to them ahead of time and was like, hey, what's the key situation? And they're like, you're going to get blue keys. And I talked to Strawn, like I'd messaged him too. And I was like, hey, what was the situation when you were there? And he's like, they had to like manually convert me and it took them like a few days. So I was
Oh
like,
wow.
oh, well, I'm not going to be there a few days. So I guess like I will just, use the keys I have, which turned out to like definitely not be enough keys.
Did you
At
have
all.
the 420
Yeah,
from
yeah, I
that?
had those
Okay.
keys. Yeah. Okay, so
But
okay,
that
so
wasn't enough? 420?
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And here's why is because okay, so Latin America is like laid out much differently than like North America is in that like you're driving around the States and Canada and like kind of how we're talking about, you have suburbs and you have your main roads and then you have roads that come off the main roads and like little shopping centers, and you might have like a vault that's like kind of set back in like a parking lot, right? Okay, so Latin America doesn't have any of that. Like everything is just like basically like a shanty built right up to the road, and most stuff is like walking, or a lot of people have like kind of like moped type of things for transport.
Yeah, the dirt
So
bikes are like main transportation.
yeah,
Yeah.
so all of the vaults are right on the road, which is like great when you're traveling through on a bus, because you just sit on your bus and you hit all the vaults. That's like super great for that. But what's not super great is the cell service there is like really not awesome, especially where we were. So we were in this city called Santa Ana, which is kind of like in the northwest of, or maybe northeast, I don't know, whatever. You can look it up on a map. Like it's, when I look at the map, it's kind of towards the top left, but I understand the country might be rotated on the map, but it's in the mountains. And so they basically, it's like a mix of 3G and 4G cell service there. Like, and actually we ended up driving all the way through to San Salvador, which is the capital, and cell service is much more stable there, but it still wasn't 5G. And I upgraded, like I had my phone switched to an international plan before we went. And then the other problem is like Honduras and El Salvador, I mean, like they're really small countries kind of close to each other, but they are on different cell phone plans. And so we had a lot of problems with like our cell phones trying to pick up the Honduras network still. And like, so El Salvador is on this network called Tico, and El Salvador and Honduras is on this network called Claro. I don't know. They were having like a lot of interference kind of in the area we were at. And then like there's so many mountains that basically cell service was just total shit. Like I restarted my game at least 20 to 40 times a day while I was in El
Wow.
Salvador.
Wow, yeah.
And like what would happen is when you would lose connection in the game, I would actually have to restart my phone, all the way to restart my phone. So it was super frustrating. And
So did you get to go down to Bitcoin Beach at all, or did you?
no, that's like way on the southwest
The
side of
south
the
side, yeah.
country. Yeah, and there's a lot of phone lag also. So you would hit a vault, and then it would like pull up the question, and if I instantly click the answer, and then it would be like a great or a good. A lot of times you get a
Yeah.
great or good. Because
You're like, I know that was perfect.
yeah, and I even got some stuff where it like popped up, and I'd never seen this before, and it was like this weird message where it was like something about like you're speeding or going too fast, like basically like
It times you out.
yeah, like by the time it registered that I had like clicked on the vault, I don't know, we're like maybe 30 seconds down the road or something. And so it's like your physical location doesn't match where this vault is. Like you get a 4-second timeout. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And for shitty cell service. But
Well, so it was a good thing that you let the devs know ahead of time, like what the plan was, because then they would know not to block you, you know?
Right.
yeah. I
If anything, can you please help? Please.
Well, okay, so yeah, back to like you guys were asking about like if the keys were enough, and well, we were doing stuff every day. So we were going like we took a bus to the Santa Ana volcano. We took a bus like to all these little villages one day. It's called like Ruta de Flores or something. I forgot the exact name. And then another day we like kind of basically drove the whole length of El Salvador. But I mean, each day I was using maybe like 120, 150 keys a day, even with all of these like crazy bad frustrating like issues. Like
so there were lots of vaults.
Yeah, so there are a lot of vaults. Like the way that they're laid out, basically if you were on a major road and someone was driving you and you had a stable cell phone connection, you could just nonstop key vaults. Like it was actually to the point where like I would do a vault, and then after it was like give you your rewards and take the photo thing, which no one wants to tweet a photo when you're like grinding vaults. So you would have missed like at least 1 or 2 vaults, and or the next one that you could hit, right? Because there's
it's a straight forest.
Yeah, there's like vaults everywhere. The problem is that they're all system vaults, and so like we ended up going to probably like 6 different like towns/cities in El Salvador, and in those 6 cities I saw 2 dozers and 3 user vaults. That was it.
I have a silly question.
Yeah.
Are the user vaults blue or are they white?
No, they're white. Yeah, they're white.
Okay. Interesting.
So I have another question. Did you fill the dozers?
I did not. Okay, so in
no!
I didn't.
We don't judge.
Wait, does it cost? Does it? I kind of do, but no, I'm kidding. You don't get leaderboard points
for one, because I'm on a bus, like, and the dozers are like off to the side, so I can't reach.
You'd have to get off.
But I actually could have filled the crane in Santa Ana, which only had 15 pucks in it, and I was like, nah.
So do the user vaults require what is it, 100 pucks?
Wait a second. Let me break this down for a second. You could have filled the crane in Santa Ana. If you did, and you had your headquarters there, then you would have gotten top country rewards, which is a red key.
I don't think I would have.
Really?
I was there at the beginning of the month, and I was doing a calculation, and I'm pretty sure that the people like, okay, so while I was there, I was doing like, I was in the country for like 3.5 days, and I was doing my walking quest every day, and doing, all like roughly 100 white vaults and maybe like 1 or 2 green vaults, whatever I could hit. And I was like 5 in the country. So it was kind of obvious, or it might have been 4.
Let's go, Salvador.
Obvious that other people were doing their walking quest every day.
I didn't expect them to be killing it like that. That's good.
So I kind of calculated, like, I'm not going to be in this country for the whole month. So if I fill this vault, like, the walkers are going to outdo me on the points,
Yeah.
Like I wasn't, I didn't assume I would stay at the top, and then I kind of would have, burned all of my resin. And so I filled the vault all the way. I would have had to buy some resin anyway. So I was like, yeah, I'm not even going to get Reiki out of this. This does not mathematically work out in my favor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that
Yeah,
makes sense
fair
then.
enough.
I didn't realize they were going so hard. I mean, that's really good. Because
Somebody
Right.
is walking consistently in there. So they must
Who are the top locals?
have, I don't know.
You remember?
Shot. Let me see. Oh, I think I did because I was making fun of Strawn at one point. I was like, look, you're so fourth, like all time. You're all time fourth here.
He's kind of a pioneer there. I think that's valid, right?
This might take me a few minutes. We can keep chatting while I like roll through my stuff and see if I can find if
I wonder. So
yeah, go ahead.
do the dozers, do the user vaults, are they the same here? Like they require 100 resin pucks?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they require the same amount.
Got it.
Yes, they do.
Did you see any resin trees?
I did not see any resin trees, although on the map, if you look at Anakura's map, it does show that there are supposedly some resin trees there. I'm not sure if they're still active or if they've been all the way used. But like the problem is like we didn't rent a car in El Salvador, so I didn't really have like total control over like where we were going in the city. So I couldn't just be like, hey, there's supposed to be resin tree like over here. Like I'm just gonna like
let's go check
that real fast. No, I was like pretty much like wherever the buses like were taking us was like,
so you just didn't see any on the route though?
No, I didn't see any at all. Yeah. And then like when we kind of got more towards like San Salvador, which is the capital, I started seeing like more user vaults, but like in total, the whole time. And we drove the main highway that goes all the way through the country. Like we drove like 6 hours across the country one day. And that in addition to the 2 hours coming from Guatemala. So we did like an 8-hour stretch across all the country. So with the main highway that spans the whole country and connects all the cities, I only saw 30 user vaults total. But we didn't go into the city of San Salvador. And like I got on the Spanish, like the local, their message boards ahead of time and kind of chatted with them in Spanish. And they told me there's like nobody plays in Santa Ana. You're not going to see anything. You should try to bring your user vaults down. But I didn't want to like, well, first off, I was told like kind of like, well, no, that was something else. But yeah, like I didn't want to bring them for that. Yeah, because I was told like I couldn't really get them approved in Honduras. So I was like, well, okay. But then I didn't want to bring them in El Salvador so that, because I was like, oh, I don't want to have to like lose all my spots where I play.
Exactly.
And
then you have to
resin.
wait a couple of days and you miss out on it.
How quickly they would get approved in El Salvador either. Because it's like, well, I'm not here like, for a long amount of time. So if it takes, when I put stuff in Austin, sometimes it takes like 2 or 3 days, So I was like, they might not even get approved in time. So I was like, I'll just not do that. But
my mom and I were putting down her user vaults one day. It was like really early in the morning. It was like 6 a.m. And we put one down, the flag's there, we go and put another one down, and we immediately get the message that the other one was approved, like within like 3 minutes. And I was like, dang, these guys are working fast.
I've never had one approved that fast. That's like really amazing.
Yeah, never. I don't think ever. That's a record.
I think it was just because it was super early in the morning, and that tends to be when they do that. But yeah.
It probably was like the first one in the queue.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, that
DZ from the Berg just jumped in and said, the one, the only, the Brizzle in the flesh. I'm late, but I'm here.
Yeah, he and I just like went in like a bid war on this fire BP. I kind of like messaged. We were like, we both knew the end time, and like it was like obvious we're both we're going up by 5, and I just messaged him, was like, hey, you want to like not like spend a whole Saturday doing this, basically? Like, let's just start like putting in like, basically like our final bets or whatever. Like, so, I was like, I don't want to be here all Saturday. I'm sure you don't want to be here all Saturday. And I'm like, also we're just like syncing it up 5 at a time. Like, we're probably going to end up like putting it to the top of the hot list and someone else is going to like jump in on this. So he's like, yeah, cool, totally.
Smart.
And then like, it is like obvious neither one of us actually like had an upper limit of what we were willing to spend. So DZ, I'm really sorry that I made you spend so much on that BP because like basically like I
did he win
out. It? Yeah, he did because I was like, I'm fucking
worth
sick
it.
of swiping like 2,500 blue keys every time. Because I refused to forge up my keys and I was like, man, I'm getting like a hand cramp and I don't know, we're on it for like 2 hours and it was like, I got family stuff to do, like, man, it's yours. But like he paid like way more. He was gonna win it for like $22.40 had like I not like been like, yeah, I want this too. And then like at the end I was like, oh, you can have it. So I feel bad. Like basically he just had
don't
to
feel bad.
overpay because of me.
No way.
He had to massively overpay because of me.
Yeah. It should be there. I think it should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over.
Someone
all is fair in love in the auction house.
Yes.
Exactly, Shu.
That's what she said. Yeah. I think Peregrine recently did like an economics calculation and found that we have key inflation of 26%.
Yeah, we do.
So it's like
this was not that. This was literally two stubborn people who were like, I don't have a budget.
We've all been there. I mean,
yeah,
we've all been there.
Yeah.
You win some, you
and
lose some.
Now I just saw it today. He's like, I don't have enough keys for Shark. I'm like, I kind of screwed him on that.
It was the same thing for me. Like when I bought the Chill and then the Fire Dragon, and then I don't have enough keys for a Shark now. I did that to myself. Don't feel guilty.
The cubies or the blueprints?
Oh, the cubies. I wish I bought the blueprints, but
yeah,
I couldn't afford that shit.
See, that's what I mean. Like the Fire blueprint, I think, I don't know. That seems like reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Just a little bit above 2 red keys. That seems super reasonable.
Yeah.
Because that BP was hard to get.
I didn't even get it.
So don't feel bad about that.
I do feel bad. Like I super made him overpay at the end of the day.
Oh gosh.
If it wasn't you, it would have been Beats anyways. So.
No,
did you see what DZ just said? He says he has 0 fire crystals. 0.
Okay, well then that's what you're really going to be paying for, DZ.
Okay, good luck, bro.
Good luck. Yeah.
Good luck, bro.
Oh
I mean,
God.
hey, I got Fire Hearts.
I think Coin Demon just jumped in.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Look at you. You
Jack,
changed your
Coin
name.
DZ, if you need a Fire Heart, I got you. Just let me know. Fire crystals, though, bro. Good luck.
I'll be bidding against you in the auction house. So best of luck to you, sir. I'm always bidding on fire crystals. Hey, Limpy, welcome. Auction house wars, yes. That's what we are discussing.
Yeah.
And Limpy said they've definitely been through a few. They just keep getting harder. That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, it was like 3,500 keys just for the Fire Dragon QB. No, not the Fire QB, but the Fire Dragon QB. So, I mean, but that's just the QB.
That was a bad deal, actually. Like, maybe for the Fire Dragon?
Yeah, well, after, like, less than a week later, another one sold for, like, 3,900. So,
okay.
That blueprint's super rare. It's got to be, like, the next rarest QB next to the Vampire, I would guess.
Maybe, yeah.
Right? What would you put above that?
Doesn't Beats have one? Trueroy has one. Squeamy has one. No. Does Squeamy sell his?
No, Squeamy still has one, I think. For lithium?
Yeah. Didn't he?
I think
sell it for
Squeamy
like
might be
2 red, like profit or something, or was that a different he sold for 2 red profit?
I don't know. You're in the Discord, I think, more than both of us. So
yeah, easily. He might have sold the blueprint, but maybe not the QB. He might still have kept a QB for himself because I'm pretty sure he's wearing his Fire Dragon QB.
No, I was talking about the blueprint. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Shu's in here offering up his 50 fire crystals. Zenny is offering up 2,800 fire crystals. 2,800 fire crystals.
I'll take those.
Man, I hunted my ass off during that event. I got nowhere near 2,800.
Diddy, you just need to print, girl. Like,
right?
Print that. Maybe she doesn't have to print. faster.
And Jai Bone said, "Can't wait for trading checks. Come to me, my pretty."
Hey, Zinni, like, if you print, can you please print that and then build the trading shack? I'll hit your trading shack with the fire QB in it, like, daily. Promise you.
Oh, is Zenny near you?
She's in Austin.
Yeah, Zenny's in Austin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but she's on the north side, so kind of a PETA because, like, okay, so in Austin, oh my God. Okay, to circle back.
I love that you just use PETA as a word. Like I don't know that I've ever heard anyone do that. I love that.
Oh yeah. So like to circle back to like okay, so no one like really plays that much in downtown. I mean, Austin has like a lot of like what I call like ghost vaults, like early adopters who build a bunch of UVs and then they don't really play anymore. So there's the domain, which is like where Zinni, and that's like the North Crew, and that's like
it's
really
like the biggest outside mall in the world.
Yeah, and
that place is crazy.
You know, it had like around 60 something user vaults, and after System Vault revamp, I think they've squeezed a few more in. So I don't know exactly how many it has because I haven't gone up there since the revamp, since System Vaults got unkilled. But then there's like there's South, and basically like where I play, I created, you know, got the family to work with me and like some other people, and we have like about a 40 user vault loop down, like where I can walk to all those vaults. And then there's like even like deep south, there's kind of like this Whole Foods shopping center area that it's got like maybe like 20 vaults. People's vaults are leaving that area. And then there's also like it's a bunch of inactive players' vaults are down there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I only hit the domain during events because it's like a 30-minute drive one way with no traffic.
Well, you know who I know you have in your area, but you might not know you have in your area. I don't know if anyone knows that this person's in your area. But back when I was doing my research for our episode with Renee, I discovered, well, Renee said that her sister probably plays the most. I mean, outside of Mom Loves You, she said her sister plays like the most in the whole family. Her sister lives in Austin.
Who's
Yes.
your sister?
I don't know. I have no clue. But I found her sister, and she lives in Austin. So you just gotta go in your local like community Discord and be like, okay, which one of y'all is Renee's sister?
Well, so like basically Zinni is the most active like female locally other than me, like on both the leaderboards and like in Discord.
Does she look like Renee?
I've never. I don't know.
Zenny, is there something you're not telling us?
Zinni didn't. I don't think she came to the meetup that we did. Then there's like A Hunt, but I don't know. I mean, like I didn't know, so I didn't ask. She kind of maybe looks like Renee. A Hunt, maybe. Like the picture Renee has on Discord, A Hunt maybe resembles that somewhere.
She's very quiet in the chat right now.
Zenny, spill the beans. Are you Renee's sister? This is a direct question, and you know I will ask you in our local things. You might.
She laughs. She just says ha ha ha.
Did we just figure this out? Did we just figure this out?
I think she's our local Discord channel
mod.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm really good at my internet research stuff, so
You're like quasi stalker.
Calling him out.
You know,
no, I mean like I never use it for bad things. Like I can tell you, like, Mom Loves You does a wonderful job of raising kids. Like, her children are amazing. Like, they are super talented and super smart and super impressive. And, like, and that's the only reason why I was able to find them is because they have an online presence because they need to advertise how awesome they are. Like, they have their own websites. So.
Oh my God, I can't. This is crazy.
What did we call it? Oh,
I will. Zinni, I'm gonna DM you later to get confirmation on this.
She said, "Ladies of the Hunt solving mysteries weekly." But I feel like was it Investigators of the Hunt when we did the brand episode?
Oh yeah.
Like yes. Leave it to the ladies.
Well, and K-Hag.
To figure all of the things. And K-Hag, yes.
K-Hag, almost everything I find out he's got an assist on, you know?
For sure.
Though if Zenny is Renee's sister, he doesn't have an assist on that. I got that one on my own.
Right. Well, it sounds like Zenny is going to plead the fifth until we get a yay or nay. So I'm going with, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
Zenny, we need to have a meetup.
Yeah.
Meet you in person.
This is exciting.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Okay, we should probably get back to our whole outline.
Yeah, let's get back.
So we've literally done
topic.
nothing on the outline, I think. Or I mean, we kind of have, but we kind of keep getting off topic too, because
that always happens.
So
with like, what's my coin hunt world history, and we got off topic from there.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean question number one?
Yes. Yeah, we didn't even get through question number one.
Wait, so I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What, if you don't mind sharing, what was the profession that you have that you couldn't find as an option on your Honduras pre-check? What do you do?
Oh yeah, I'm a beekeeper. Then
cool.
Cool. Is not an option.
Yeah, that's a little obscure for a Honduras pre-check. I can see why they might not have had that on there.
Yeah.
So do you have like your own like hives and like?
Yeah, I personally own over 100 hives that I manage, and then I work about another 80 plus minus hives for clients, give or take.
Wow, that's
cool.
Awesome. When BQB?
Yeah. Give us the buzz.
Oh my God, let the puns start rolling in.
Make it
buzzing in.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
wait. Would we have a whole family of like bee type QBs? Like we have the honeybee, and then what's your feeling on wasps and yellow jackets?
They're like a different family. Okay, so if you're going to do a hierarchy for bees, your common QB would be the worker bees, which are the female bees, which makes up 90% of a hive. Then your rare QB would be the drones, which are the male bees. They make up about 10% of a hive. And then your epic would be the queen bee. You have one queen per hive.
Yeah,
Beyonce.
No, that's genius. They totally should do that.
Yeah, that would be genius. That would be such a fun...
I actually witnessed a honeybee swarm recently, and that was super cool.
I can't even believe I didn't think of that. QB.
Yeah, they're super docile when they're swarming. But yeah, so
baby.
You need some bee ideas, just reach out if you decide you want to do those QBs. I got lots of ideas.
We have an expert.
How are you on art? Like, can you draw this QB? Yeah?
I'm pretty.
So you could help them with like the design and stuff.
Yeah, I'm older than y'all, so like when I was doing art, it was before the digital days. So like I'm good on paper. I'm not very versed in the Photoshop and the digital art. Like I think that's
when I was young, digital art didn't exist too. So
yeah. So I'm good on the paper art. Actually, I was like gonna go to college originally as like an art major, and my mom was like my ass you are, like you won't make any money doing that. So,
Mom,
starving artist, yeah.
She was not down with that plan for her daughter, so I got a degree in biochemistry. I was a biochemist for a long time.
Cool.
And then,
did you go to school in Austin?
Yeah, I went to UT Austin. I mean, they had to accept me. I like graduated like 6th in my high school of 5,000. So they
yeah, girl.
I did the application.
Hell yeah,
like,
yeah, that's amazing.
It was like the world's shittiest essay. I read it like years later. I was like, oh my God, how did they accept me? Oh, they had to.
Hey, I went to a college that didn't even require an essay, so
oh wow,
you're good.
So like originally I started out as an electrical engineering major because I in high school I did electrical engineering electives, and they were really cool because we got to build stuff like build circuits and build RC cars and build all these really cool
we
stuff.
love a STEM lady.
Yes,
so
let's go.
When I got to college, they just kind of like I went to orientation, and it's a room of like a 500 students, and it's me and one other girl in the entire room.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh man, this doesn't look so good. And then I went and talked to kind of the advisors. I was like, hey, like, I don't see anywhere where you get a like application. There's no application because they show you like your freshman classes, but it shows you like the whole 4-year plan or whatever. I was like, nowhere on here is it like where I'm gonna get to build robotics or anything. And they were like, yeah, you're not gonna get to do that until you're a grad student. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is so lame. Like, so I switched
That's
out of
long.
engineering to biochemistry because I wanted to like do lab work. I like working with my hands a lot. And then, I don't know, a long time after being a biochemist, like, when you do well in a career, you get like moved up, and like, what does moving up look like in this country? You get moved to management, and like,
you push some papers around and like tell people
like,
what to do.
Exactly. You don't do anything as a manager. So I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna start my own business.
Good for you.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. Like when I was in high school, I actually wanted to go into genetics, and I took when I was in 9th grade, I took my local college, University of Rhode Island, was doing this pilot program where they were taking high school students to test out a new college course that was basically genetically engineering agriculture stuff. So we got to like create a male sterile dwarf turfgrass, like with like just splicing genes and stuff. It was really fucking cool.
That's super cool.
But I learned doing that like the fun stuff doesn't happen until you're like way past like college, like when you're in graduate level. And I'm like, I can't just be a drone for like 8 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And just like
yeah, well, you could have like worked in a lab in college. Like you get to do fun stuff working in the lab, like as an undergraduate researcher, or when you go to industry, stuff is pretty good on that side too. But
I like talking to people, obviously. You don't get to do that in a lab at all.
Well, usually like when you're so I was an undergraduate researcher when I was at UT, and I mean, you're not, well, actually I did get paid, but a lot of times you're not getting paid. And they have like all their grad students basically like working as their slaves pretty much. But there's like a lot of people in the lab, like, at a given time, because they're not doing like the actual people with the PhD, like the doctors, they're not doing any of the lab work. They have to spend all their time writing grants. Yeah. And so they have all their minions doing all the lab work. And so on a big lab, there's like, 5-10 people in the lab at any given time. So you can be social.
Yeah. I found it wasn't really for me. Like I love the concepts and I love debating like the actual research and like figuring out like where things can go from here. But the actual like sitting there and just pipette like one thing to the next thing and it's just callus from this petri dish to that petri dish from this, and break the callus in half and split it into different petri dishes, and like I'm just like, oh my god. I can't.
Boring.
I can't
get to the good stuff.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. I needed way more variety in my life. Yeah.
But hey, if it leads you to anything like being a dope ass beekeeper of how many hives did you say that you have personally? 20?
No, a little over 100.
Oh my god.
Yeah, did you not see my face, Mama? I was like,
I'm sorry.
So is that do you have land like at your house that you do this? Do you own a separate piece of land that you have it, or?
Yes, but okay, so that's not where I keep most of my bees. I keep most of my bees on leases. So so in Texas, in 2012, they redid the ag rules to say that bees now qualify as like a agricultural activity. So in Texas, you get like huge tax breaks on your land if you're running like cattle or hay or anything like that, right? Like, so if you're using your land for ag purposes, but the minimum acreage for all that stuff was, it was like 10 to 15 acres, kind of depending. And so people who had land, but they had smaller tracts weren't able to qualify. So rich
people are using you for tax breaks.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
damn right. That's exactly what's happening. So they're paying me to keep bees on their property and keep the bees alive. And after 5 years of that, they get to qualify for the lower taxes. And then basically after that, after 1 year of that, I can move them on to wildlife, where they don't have to like pay lease fees for me anymore, and they can just reap the benefits of their like sweet 90% tax reduction.
Wow.
Yeah,
America.
honestly, like, business is like crazy exploded because Austin's in Travis County. So Travis County and Hayes County, which are the adjacent counties next to Austin, is like their Texas is getting crazy like tax assessment these last years, and like just this last year everything raised. The valuations rose by 60%. The year before that, valuations had risen by like 40%. So like it's going crazy. Like people are like, the hell, dude, like my 5-acre property has like a $30,000 tax bill. And that's another thing. People who move from out of state, like especially California, they're like, oh, like the houses aren't that expensive here compared to California. And then they get hit by their property tax bill and they're like, what the F is this?
Yeah, because there's no state tax, and so state income tax, and so they get so many more taxes with the property taxes. But I'm surprised Californians would be surprised, because Californians' property taxes are pretty crazy high too.
So my understanding is that y'all's tax rate in California is like 1.2. Is that about right? 1.3?
No.
Are you talking property taxes?
Property taxes?
Yes, the property tax rate. Is that what? Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is, but I know it's not. It's definitely not 1%. Here, I can Google this.
Yeah, because I'd heard like from people I knew who moved from California, they're like, dude,
I guess it depends.
It's like double.
I mean, that's county by county usually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, exactly. It totally depends on like where.
What is it where you are, Brizzle?
It's like 2.3 to 2.4. But the thing is that they're praising stuff really high now.
Oh yeah.
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 And
I mean, it's like 1% here, because I did just pay my tax bill recently.
And then California has like Prop 13 or whatever. So if you've lived in your house for a long time, you basically get like a huge discount on your taxes. Texas doesn't have that. So
that's true. Yeah.
If you've been in your house forever, whatever, like you're getting a little bit of a discount, because they can only they can only raise you like 10% every year, but they're doing that. So effectively every 7 years, your taxes double. And then your taxes like never go down here. Like they never say your property, like even in a recession, your property's never worth less than it was last year. It always is increasing, is how they value it. And then when a property gets sold on the open market, it goes to like that year, the taxes roll to market value. So it gets expensive.
Wow.
Yeah. It's way more expensive than Oklahoma, that's for sure. I know that, because when we were in Austin, like my boyfriend's kid was like obsessed with the Domain, which like to me, the Domain is not somewhere that I'd want to live. That's like not me.
The Domain's cool because it's like completely walkable. Like you wouldn't not need a car to.
That's cool, but like I like unique houses with like their own property. Like character. I want to have a yard, I want character. Yeah. So like there were a lot of cool houses that I saw like right outside of downtown. But like a lot of the bungalows, like I love the bungalow style there's a lot of cute little bungalows. But I was looking at the property costs there versus where I live, and it's like 3 times as much. And I was like, and your traffic is like, traffic doesn't exist in Oklahoma. Like it just doesn't. And
you can like get to places at the time that you anticipate.
Yeah. And I can't make any more money living anywhere else, because my job is online anyway. So it makes the most sense for me to live in the cheapest place possible, and my money will go the farthest. So yeah. It's just,
if I didn't already live in Austin and already own a house, I wouldn't be able to afford to buy here. Like it's just it's not realistic anymore.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
Pretty much everyone who's buying a house in Austin is either moving in from out of state, or they already had a house here, so they're just like selling that house and like like moving up a little bit in house. You know how like people do that. yeah, like I have friends that like kind of missed the window to buy a house and they can't now. Like
Yeah.
that's never going to be a possibility for them. And it's they make good money and it's just not happening for them. So
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
yeah,
homeless
what
population there has gone kind of through the roof. Oh my God.
yeah,
Walking
okay,
around
so
downtown killed me.
we had like I think it made national news. We were kind of known as like the homeless encampment city for a while. So Texas is like really regressive in general on we are not like a social welfare state. We're pretty much like if you can't make it on your own, like we hate you type state that
Mm-hmm.
politically, which is crazy because that's also like the same type of people who are like, we love church. So I don't know. There's a weird dichotomy there. Like you think they would be like help out your fellow citizens, but not really. But so Austin, like all the other cities in Texas, had all these like really strict rules on the books that were like no panhandling, no like loitering on the sidewalks, like basically like homeless people not allowed. Like you
Yeah.
you know I think you did jail time or something. Like I think it was more than a fine even. Well, then they decriminalized that, and
Yeah, because
so
then you realize you're paying for people to be in jail and
Yeah,
right,
people are going to want to get
everybody
arrested
else
if they're homeless because then they have, square
food
meals
and
and a roof over
shelter
their
and
head.
yeah.
so they decriminalized it, and all of the rest of the cities in the state of Texas took got like advertised to their homeless populations and said like, hey, we'll buy you a tent and a one-way bus ticket to Austin. That's what they did. So like Austin got this crazy like expansion of homeless people because we got like the whole state homeless population influx to Austin, and then it had been decriminalized, so you could tent camp wherever. So there was like we call them tent cities. They were all over the city, like huge homeless encampments. So the city obviously like did not have a plan at all for it was like crazy. It was like, okay, they're going to decriminalize it, but you don't have like a plan for like no housing plan for people, like no plan for where people will go. Like they just didn't quite think it through all the way, I guess,
Yeah.
is the best way to say that. And so then they had to like walk it back. Like they spent like millions of dollars like renting out a hotel, but it was still like wasn't enough rooms. And it was also like in the middle of this COVID thing. So it was like kind of like really messy. And then our governor, who's like super conservative, was like, you don't get this shit under control, I'm gonna send like the Texas National Guard in to clean that up for you. And like it was crazy. Like
Oh my God, you're a governor. Let's
Oh,
not get started.
Texas. Yeah.
we really should just
We're gonna get back to
sidestep
Coin
that
Hunt
and
World.
stay on Coin Hunt World.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should just
The goal is
not
we're going to try to
talk
get some
about
more
some of these
flyers up in
topics.
the area. So hopefully our unhoused
Hey.
neighbors can start making some crypto.
Go
And,
go to the tent cities and remember Limpy's story. He got a
They're not
homeless
here
guy to play Coin Hunt World and he paid for his own apartment with his Coin Hunt winnings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys,
That's
really
But
right.
you
cool.
can't do that in Austin. You'd have to like come to Oklahoma City to get an apartment with your Coin
Yeah,
Hunt winnings.
yeah, I
Right.
don't think that's possible here
No.
anymore. Like studios are running for like 1,400. Like you don't even get a
Ooh.
single bedroom with that. It's expensive here.
My mom just rented the nicest 2-bedroom I've ever seen in this city, brand new, full amenities, heated saltwater pool. They give you breakfast every day. Like they have all these scheduled activities. They like take you out on field trips. It's $1,200 a month.
What?
In Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
It's like a
cool.
senior place, like an active senior place. It's really
really
freaking awesome. But yeah, I mean, and that's like the nicest
gonna come
apartment
live
I've
with your
ever
mom.
seen in my life.
Wow.
Oh, dude, it's so I gave
When
my
I come to visit, I'm staying with your mom. She's got the saltwater pool.
dude. They even have apartments they keep open specifically for when people come to visit. They can rent them out as like hotel rooms
What?
for when
wow.
family comes to visit. Yeah.
That's
That's
fun.
really swanky. That's
Oh
so
my
cool.
God, it is the
Yeah, that is
nicest place.
swanky.
And it's like for my mom coming from Rhode Island, where you can't even get a studio for that.
Yeah.
Like, she was, like, blown away what she could get for that kind of money. And I've never seen a nicer apartment. Like, it's a senior place. So, yes, I've seen nicer, like, high-rise downtown apartments. But, like, for the average person, I've never seen a nicer apartment. So, anyway. Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm always so Oklahoma City love, like it just flows out of me. I love this place so much. I went out walking around downtown the other night, and I just had to take pictures and send them to Mama because I was like, look how much I love this city. Look how pretty it is.
I know. It was so nice though. They were very gorgeous. And I didn't even realize like the architecture is so unique and different, and
It's also modern because it's so new.
yeah,
Everything's
yeah.
so new.
It's like new, but it's not cookie cutter.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, no. It's definitely not cookie
That's what I
cutter.
really like, because I'm like, there's plenty of big cities like Denver, for example.
That looks
I've
like
been a few
everything's
times.
stamped. Yeah.
Yes, and everything is the exact shade of beige, you know, and like, okay, same building, different block. Like, it's great that it's developing, but it's developing in such a boring way.
Oh, yeah.
Where like OKC is like developing in such an amazing way.
Everything
Totally
is
different.
so unique and wonderful. Like, you just got to walk around downtown. Like, it's so beautiful. Anyway, we should get back on target. But there was one, Coin Demon had a question in the comments. He says, can bees change roles within the hive?
Okay, so I don't know exactly how to answer that. Kind of like yes and no. So like the female worker bees, so drones, no, they only have one role. So they're born, their entire role is to go out, have sex with a virgin, and they die in the process. And then if they don't have sex, they come home and they just like hang out at the hive and eat. Like that's literally all they do. And
Sounds about right.
They're pretty much like freeloaders.
Pretty much, they're just like us.
And then the queen, like her whole role is to only lay eggs. Like she doesn't even feed herself. A lot of people think that the queen bee makes decisions for the hive, but not at all. Like she just gets like marched around and told where to lay eggs, and that's all she does day in and day out. She can lay 2,000 eggs a day, and she gets fed, she gets attended to, like everything. So she's kind of like a little bit of like a slave, you know, but like head honcho slave. And then the worker bees, they do change roles. So when they're first born, they're what's called like nurse bees. So their job is to clean out the cells and feed the larvae and do all that. And then they kind of are housekeeping bees. So after the larvae hatch, they polish the cells so the queen can lay back in them. And then they graduate from that. They start producing wax and drying wax. And then from there, they become the foragers. So they go out, they collect all the pollen, all the water, all the nectar. They put all that back in the hive. And then their last role before they die is guard bee. So like the bitch bees that hang out at the door and like sting everyone who like comes too close to the nest. Those are like the
bitch bees.
The old bitches.
The cranky
like,
old bee people.
Yeah, they're like on their way out anyway. So
they're on their way out.
If they like sting someone, because you know when a bee stings you it dies. So if they sting someone, like whatever, they would, their value to the hive wasn't that high at that point anyway, because
they're just cranky anyway.
Their life
cranky and old.
Bees sound so much more like people than I ever would have thought.
I know, right? I'm fascinated here.
Well, so you know, really Coin Demon wanted to know, because you know Coin Demon's a gardener, like that. He has a gardening business, which and I have a question. So I heard a lot about No Mow May back in May. Is that like really a good thing for the bees? Did you hear about it at all? Yeah, it is.
No Mow May is really good for the bees. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So
what's No Mow May?
Where you don't mow your yard. Okay. All, like the weeds bloom basically, which like in a lot of areas the weeds are a kind of like a big flora source for the bees, especially like now that everyone likes to stick like Roundup on everything, and like all the like
so
Roundup
horrible.
has like neonicotinoids in it, which is like really bad for the bees. So a lot of like pesticides and herbicides and fungicides that people are using have like additive effects. And so maybe you didn't like spray your plant with pesticide, you put like an herbicide and fungicide on it. That stuff still combines, and it gets in the pollen and the nectar, and bees take it back to the hive. It ends up in the wax, and it accumulates, and it's like really toxic to the bees. So yeah, like the weeds grow fast. So if you like, it's like a good nectar source for the bees, and the typical like mainspring flow is May in a lot of areas. So it is very helpful for the bees. Like collecting dandelion and clover nectar and all that like random weed stuff out of your yard is good. But if you really, really, really like care about bees and you want to do something good for the bees, plant a flowering tree, because a 10 by 10 foot square of like wall-to-wall wildflowers, the amount of blooms you get out of that versus like a tree that takes up that same 10 by 10 foot space, the tree is equivalent to about 150 square feet, like 150 square feet by 150 square feet of flowers, and it only takes up that same 10 by 10
So
foot.
like what do you have, like a type of flowering tree you recommend?
Well, yeah, but obviously it's gonna vary based on like where people live. So like in Texas, like there's this super invasive tree called Chinese tallow, which is like bee crack, and like it's like everyone who's like naturalist is like, get the tallows out, and then all the beekeepers are like, yo man, keep the tallows. They're like banging. And then
Where do you stand on that?
Well, I'm a little bit outside of the tallow zone. So I don't actually like live in an area that's like amazing for beekeeping, which is part of why like people pay me a lot of money to keep bees alive on their property for taxes. Like the main bee country in Texas is like East Texas, where like it's tallow galore, and no one's paying beekeepers to keep bees out there. Like beekeepers are like, hey, can I put my bees? Like all the commercial keepers keep their bees out there. Like, can I put my drop 100 hives on your place? Like, yeah. But like in my area,
bee slang.
That things that are good for the bees in my area is like Texas mesquite, which is like a trash tree. A lot of people hate mesquite. But it's really like it's a good nectar source for the bees.
Oh, nice.
The white crepe myrtle, it's like this variety called Natchez, is
really good. It's really pretty too.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's got this beautiful like pendulous globular form to it. A lot of crepe myrtles are not super aesthetic. But that one is like a very beautiful form. Like there's this
what about the Oklahoma redbud?
Yeah, the Texas redbud is good.
It's like our state tree, so
I don't know that we have an Oklahoma redbud down here. Yeah, we do have Texas redbud. Like any of the stone fruits, any of the fruit trees that are like flowering in like May and stuff are good. Texas sage is good.
Oh, did you see my Twitter picture of the mimosa tree?
No, I didn't, but that's a tree that's really like a super attractor for bees. That's the one I was trying to think of, the mimosa tree.
Nice.
Yes.
So
see, that's what you need to plant in your. That's what you need to plant in your front yard, Korkio.
A mimosa, yeah, I might.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Twitter, yes, I have a Twitter account that I made for Coin Hunt World, and
what is it? I tried to find you today.
Oh, the Brizzle. It's like, I think it's like _ the Brizzle _ because of course the Brizzle was also taken. But look, I'm not like amazing at Twitter. Pretty much I suck at Twitter. I like only retweet the contest, and occasionally I'm like, oh look, it doesn't look like Gia's posted this week on the contest. I might have a shot. So I'll like enter the contest. Yeah, because like if she or Minnow post, like they win it every time. I don't know, like there's no shot against that. So
and Bee Pod, yeah, there's a lot of amazing pictures out there. Oh, so there's a couple of questions for you in the chat. Zenny would like to know, do you collect the honey and sell it?
Yeah, I do.
Nice. Coin Demon would like to know.
How far can you ship it?
I mean, I guess I could ship it kind of anywhere.
Yes. Korkio would like to know if she could place an order.
I guess it's definitely not grocery store pricing though. Like,
Of course.
it's different. You get like, I only harvest, like, I don't blend hives. So when you buy honey from a the honey industry is crazy. Like, first off, when you buy honey from a grocery store, like, it's a lot of times, even if it says local, that just means they packed it locally, not that it was produced locally. So it doesn't even have to come from the same country that you're in. But so, like, basically, if you actually care about local honey, just anyone go find your local beekeeper and buy from the person that you know has the hives. That's really the only way to guarantee that. But then,
and that's the best thing to do too, because it helps you with allergies and stuff, right?
Yeah. And then a lot of people will blend their honey, so they'll collect out of like a whole bunch of hives, and that's why it tastes very homogenous at the store. So if I pull honey from two hives right next to each other, honey tastes totally different because the bees are foraging like different plants out of each hive and different ratios of plants. So people are always surprised. It's like wine. Wine is.
I was just thinking that. I wasn't going to say it, but I was just thinking that.
Yeah, it's like
the viticulture is just different based on the hive. Yeah.
Interesting.
Speaking of, Coin Demon would like to know, do you have a favorite tree? And I don't know if that's in relation to obviously the bees or just a favorite tree in general.
Yeah,
so
I do have a favorite tree, and it has nothing to do with bees. It's the pecan tree.
Oh, we've got a shit ton of them.
Trees. I mean, first off, I love collecting pecans, so like winning right there. But then, I love and like Texas is like hot as hell down here, so like pecan trees get big and they put out a lot of shade.
Lots of shade.
Like,
yeah, we almost every house in like my area has a pecan tree in its backyard.
Wow.
Yeah. Like the house my boyfriend just bought for his parents down the street has like a giant pecan tree in the backyard, and it's already grown its pecans for this year. They don't produce every year. They do like every other year or every 3 sometimes.
But it's biannual. Most of them are biannual bears.
Oh, biannual.
Well, like so Austin is like on the edge of this. It's called the Edwards Plateau, and like it's like a limestone shelf, and then east of Austin is like the deep clay soils, and so a lot of Austin is on this, like, you have like maybe like a foot or an inch of topsoil, and then it's like solid limestone, and so it's tricky for the pecan trees in a lot of the areas. But there are parts of the city that have like deeper alluvial soil, and they've got like 100-year-old pecan trees in those neighborhoods, and they're really nice. But for like, I have a pecan tree in my backyard. I think the original owner planted, and the pecan tree was like shit every single year, like mid-June. I'm like dumping like 1,000 gallons of water on it a week, and it's basically like, I'm dying. Like,
that's crazy because like we have
limestone.
Crazy droughts regularly. Like it's rained once like this whole summer, and the pecan trees do great. Like they don't give a shit if they get water here.
Because you probably have those deep,
they're not needy
soils. Like,
it's all clay. It's just all red dirt and clay. Yeah.
So just hold.
So I'm on limestone. Yes. Like if I go down about 1.5 feet, I hit limestone, and so
that's a problem. Yeah.
I have
can't get much water
honey
in there.
Question. Mm-hmm. So you might have heard, like, I'm on the board for a vegan animal rescue, and there's like a big vegan controversy with honey, and I don't know if you know about the vegan controversy with honey. Because,
I do. Yeah.
So, like, for those that don't, like, the whole point of vegan is to not take advantage of any animals, right? And bees are an animal. I guess insects are an animal. So yes, bees are an animal. And so, but it doesn't actually, it doesn't cause them harm as far as I know. So my question is, would you consider honey vegan, and does us taking their honey like cause them any harm in any way that maybe we don't think of?
Okay. So, I don't know how to answer, would I like classify it vegan or not. Like, I think that's up to the individual vegan to decide for themselves.
Of course.
I will say that I have been vegan on and off at different times in my life, and I did not have any qualms with honey. Like, I ate honey during those times.
So what's the difference between honey and milk then in perspective?
So like
Because they're
was
harvesting
vegan.
it rather than producing it?
So I was
or-
vegan for health reasons, which is a little bit different than like animal cruelty reasons, which a lot of people are vegan for those reasons. You know, like, so from a health perspective, like if you read the book, like Eat to Live, I don't know if y'all have read that. That's a really good book. Y'all should all check it out. And you will be like, oh my God, I need to change what I'm eating. But
For sure.
so, you know, from like the health, and I have like genetic factors in like my family tree that predisposes me to some less than ideal things. So yeah, eating on the healthy side is kind of important for me. But kind of like to answer your question. Okay, so like from, I don't know, like from my perspective, like drinking cow's milk, well, first we put growth hormones on the cows and we use all the antibiotics, and there's like a lot of like nasty stuff we're putting into the cows that is like transferring out through you. And then if you look at how like milk is like commercially milked, like if you, it's just like gross.
Horrible.
Like they have,
It's
the
horrible.
the cows like they can't move, they're in these little pens. Like it's crappy.
It's
like
less humane than actually eating a steak. I mean,
yeah,
like,
they're
For
not
sure.
like living
For
their
sure.
natural lifestyle, and they, a lot of times their udders have like cysts, they're infected. Like that's just gross. Okay, so like it, you
The
know,
inhumane conditions.
if I'm gonna like, you know, when I, like if I was like, I am gonna drink some cow's milk, that's cool. I'm gonna go down to like the farmer down the road that's got like the 50
Nice.
acres that lets their cows free roam, and then she milks them in the morning. Okay, like that would be what I would do. But so like for to kind of like answer that question, like for me, it's like also like I'm lactose intolerant now as an adult, so you know, drinking cow's milk is kind of a moot point anyway. But like for bees, they're still like living the way bees would like just like naturally live, right? Like you're not
Sure.
finding them to anything weird. They're building their combs and they're living, and then you go take some combs, or you
So
untap the combs and collect some honey and put the combs back in, they can refill them. And then the other thing is like, you're literally, when you're eating honey, you're eating bee spit.
right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're eating, bee spit.
But
I was gonna ask, so like
does
theoretically,
it take from them though?
That's what I was gonna ask. Is like, are they missing it? Like,
okay. No, not if you like know what you're doing. So okay, bees are like the ultimate like hoarding animal or insect.
so they miss it.
They're super hoarders. Okay, so
Yeah.
so in August, okay, so
They're just like us.
when there's a lot of like nectar happening, that's called the flow. Okay, so the flow is when the amount of nectar being produced is more than what the bees need, and then when what they want or to use is less than what's being produced, that's called the dearth. And so during the flow, they like build a bunch of comb and then store the surplus, and they like make themselves like way more honey than they need. And then during a dearth, they eat through that. And then you know, they don't always know how it's going to be year to year, so that's why they're like super hoarders. Well, what happens is in the dearth, if like you're messing in a hive and you break open some honey, or like you put out sugar water, or you have a soda open, like this is why people get bees on their sodas in summer. Like the bees are always trying to hoard. So like, even though they have a pantry with like 10 times the amount of food that they could eat this year, they're like, oh my God, there's food over here. Let's go steal all the food from this other hive. Or like, let's go drink all the soda. Like, let's store.
So they're disaster preppers.
Yeah. There's literally never enough for the
They
bees.
fit in great in Texas then. There's lots of preppers in Texas.
If you put out sugar water for the bees year round, they would just drink it. Like they would never be like, we have enough. They would just be like, cool, like let's hoard more. So like basically, yeah, that's to say, like, if you don't steal all their honey, you take like a very reasonable amount, like they're not even gonna miss it because they could never eat it. And like the easiest way to do that is you pull the following spring. So you don't pull anything that fall or winter they have enough food for the summer dearth. Well, because we have two dearths here, we have summer and then we have winter. And so we have spring flow and a fall flow. So you spring flow and then they eat it in summer, and fall flow they eat it in winter, and then the next spring you go in, and usually like there's still a lot of honey in there.
Okay, so
that's good.
So
that's
like,
good. Okay.
if there's like a major drought or something, then they might miss it a little bit. but they always have enough. And as long
They're
as
quick
you
to-
take in moderation and responsibly.
Established hive, so I don't operate my hives the way a commercial beekeeper does, because that's mostly like big ag, and like they need to make like a profit, and like a certain amount of profit each year. So they're moving their bees around to different pollinations. They're going out to the almonds that cost them money. But they're getting paid to truck to the almonds. They bring their bees home. They make splits. They make a honey crop. And they will take all the honey, or almost all the honey, and then feed their bees sugar water, because they can sell the honey for more than they sell the honey for more than they buy the sugar. So they take all the honey off the bees, and then they just feed them sugar water, and then the bees basically backfill and live on the sugar water. Like, I don't do that, one, because I'm like kind of lazy, and two, I'm like a naturalist, and I have like a biochemistry background, and I view beekeeping from like a view of like natural selection, and like I beekeep for different criteria. And so I'm basically like,
there's a balance.
way less like, I'm not going to take all your resources and then create more work for myself to like feed you. Also, like, harvesting honey is like a pain in the ass. It's a lot of work. So like, wow, I don't want to make all that extra. And like, generally, like, if you're a beekeeper, you're like, you make bees or you make honey. Those are kind of like the two paths. And I'm more like on the make bees side of things. So I kind of try to avoid dealing with honey as much as possible. So I don't harvest like a crazy amount of honey off them. Pretty much like when they get honey bound and I have to is when I'll like take honey off them.
So they can hoard so much that it's bad for them.
I mean,
they're getting stuck in it.
Not really bad for them. Okay, so like when you hoard so much, like you have nowhere to do anything else in the hive. You've brought so much honey in. It's called backfilling the brood nest. And so the queen has nowhere to lay. So that's the signal to them, like, hey, we're on a super strong flow. We should reproduce, which is a swarm. Like, they reproduce by fission. So it's like they send half the hive out to go look for a new spot.
I did a bunch of research on this because I saw it happening, and I was like, I need to know exactly what's going on.
Yeah, so those are the bees fly.
See, I'm like, I need to run away.
Yeah.
Well, no, the bee swarm is cool because, like, they're not... Well, it was terrifying. I walked outside my house, and all I heard was tons of buzzing. And I look up, and I'm like, there's bees everywhere. And I find that they're concentrating on this hole in my neighbor's tree. And I'm like,
girl, that is so funny, because the same thing happened to me like 2 weeks ago, and I totally forgot to bring it up on like interesting things that we saw on our walk. But we literally walked like right through a swarm, and I was with the dogs by myself, and I was like, go, 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 go.
But they're super docile then. They're not going to hurt you.
Oh yeah, no, but I just... Once you hear it, you're just like,
it is
abort mission.
It's super scary. It's a scary sound.
Like just walking through it. No, I had no idea. I didn't even see them.
Yeah.
So I just didn't want to disturb any of them. And I didn't want them to disturb me.
Yeah. So they can get honey bound, but if that happens, they start a new hive.
They start,
they'll swarm. And so, okay, so bees so there's like R species and K species. If you go back to like your genetics class, and like bees are the species that like, they have like a shotgun approach. Like, they don't basically care for their offspring. They just try to send out as much offspring as they can and like kind of, see what sticks to the wall. So a colony might send out like 4, 5, 6 swarms a year, knowing that those swarms aren't going to make it. Like, on average, 25% of swarms actually build up enough comb and store enough food to successfully overwinter that winter and make it onto the next year to become an established hive. So, bees just send out swarms, like, as much as they can, like, with the understanding that, like, evolutionarily, the more they send out, the more shots they have at
strength in numbers.
Successful. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm learning so much.
I know.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Have like a whole separate
this feels like a TED Talk,
right?
It's like a lot.
So Shu asks, I may have missed this if it was answered before, but does the Brizzle have one of those beekeeping suits with the big funny hats? Big cool hats. They're cool. They're not
I
funny.
have
They're
like
cool.
6 suits.
Yes.
3 are half suits and 3 are full suits. So I'm in Texas, which is like the Africanized bee zone. So the bees down here are like quite a bit bitchier than bees in other areas. So if you get on YouTube and you're like, oh, beekeeping, and you see these people like working their bees without a veil and bikini, dude, those guys live in the north. They do not live in the south. That shit does not happen down here. Like, people eat it up down here. Like,
yeah, I'd imagine. I wouldn't be fucking around with hundreds of thousands of bees without some sort of protection on a daily basis.
People watch on YouTube and think they're gonna do it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, no. That's
people do some dumb shit.
Yeah, but and that's not to say like the bees are gonna like murder you down here. I mean,
oh no,
yeah, you will occasionally run across those colonies, but they're definitely like their temperament is more wild than other areas, I guess. Like the genetics have mixed, and they're like it can be spicy. So
and like the strength in numbers thing, like if there's thousands of them, like just the possible, statistically speaking, the possibility of you getting stung is very high.
So the average colony has like an average size colony, established colony has 30 to 60,000 bees. But you can tell like when you're messing with the hive if you're like gonna get stung. Like they
grow louder
pheromone, and it smells like the fake like Laffy Taffy banana. So if you are smelling that, you know, like
did not know that
you've pissed these bees off, and basically they're going to be buzzing you and trying to like sting your suit and that kind of stuff. But you know, when you've got to work bees, whatever, you just do that.
You gotta power through it.
So if you're near a hive and you smell Laffy Taffy banana, that's when you need
turn
to
around.
leave.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest.
Turn around, don't drown.
If you're near a hive and you smell that, yeah, I would run away from there because those bees are like crazy. Like I've only once come across a hive down here, and we're pretty notorious for having like really defensive bees. Like there's only one time where I've removed bees out of structures too as part of what I do. And so like I was coming up on this house, they hired me to remove bees, and I was about like 20 yards away, and I smelled banana, which is like completely abnormal. Like you normally don't ever smell banana until you start opening the colony. Like, you know,
like you hadn't even messed with it yet, which means someone else was messing with
it. No one else had messed with this hive. These bees were like
just naturally like that.
Super crazy. Yeah. They're super, super, super aggressive. This is what I would call aggressive bees, is like if they come out and they're attacking you and you have not disturbed them, they're no longer defensive. They're now classified as aggressive, and they're dangerous. Like I classify those as dangerous bees, and they were like super crazy temperament, like
the skunks that
you
had
like
last week, Korkio.
The skunks
terrorizing the path.
I had some skunks chase me last week, so she's saying that the bees were like the skunks that chased me.
Yeah,
it's just feral, terrorizing everybody.
Yeah, these bees were really aggressive. So yeah, if you smell bananas, that's a problem.
Call your local beekeeper.
Their hive. Yeah, that's a real problem, hive. You should never smell Laffy Taffy, basically, just walking by a beehive.
Yeah. So,
did everybody learn something today?
If you remove bees from structures, is this something you have to do locally, or is it something you can do while on vacation? Like, do you want to come to Oklahoma City and remove the bees from my next door neighbor's tree?
Absolutely not. Yeah, and I don't have anywhere to put them. That's not happening. Yeah.
Well, what if I know people with like farms that would be happy to have
still
them?
Not doing it. I'm on vacation.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, it's a lot of work. This is like the average removal takes like 4 to 7 hours. So I charge people locally to do that. Like people are like, but you're getting bees. It's like,
no, that's not how it works.
I'm helping you, bitch.
My
for
own
me.
bees.
Yeah.
Like,
this is not convenient for me.
Yeah, pretty much. People always like, I don't understand. Don't you want to save the bees? And then like,
oh, do not. The guilt trip.
Sorry,
Jeez.
man. Like you have a problem and you're asking for a solution.
Yeah.
If
solutions cost money.
For free, I will tell you the equipment to buy and have fun with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Enjoy your body full of welts.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
Weirdos. People
I
are
don't
so
welt.
weird.
I don't well anymore from stings. Like,
Really?
yeah, I just get a small red dot.
Anymore?
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I've been stung thousands of times. So I actually had never been stung at all before I became a beekeeper. I was actually deathly afraid of bees before I became a beekeeper. Like I would scream. Yeah, I would run away and scream if a bee came near me. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
I
what
plan to become a
changed?
beekeeper. Okay, so the way I ended up getting beekeeping is my husband used to make mead, and for people who don't know that it's like honey wine. So instead of making wine from grapes, we make wine from honey. So it's called mead. But you know, getting local honey is not cheap. It's kind of pricey, and so he was like, I don't want to pay for this because it takes a lot to make a gallon of mead. It takes 3 pounds of honey. So at the time he was spending about this was, I don't know, a really long time ago. So he's spending about $30 on just the honey for the 1 gallon of mead. So he's like, I want bees. I just want to make my own honey. And I was like, yeah, like over my dead body. That is like, and so then like after like 10 years of him every year being like, I want this, I was like, okay, fine, but like maybe, but I'm not touching the bees, and I have to have like the most extreme full body suit that's like super protective that ever was, and I'm not messing with these bees. And he was like, okay. So I had a beekeeper. Got linked up with beekeeper friend, and I got some bees that she'd removed out of a structure, and like we started with that. And they were like really fascinating. They were like really cool, and they weren't like crazy, and they weren't trying to like, you know, murder me or anything. And so I would like go out with him and check the bees, and then he was like, oh, these are pretty cool. And then we talked about how much honey he wanted to produce for how much mead he wanted to make. So I was like, oh, it sounds like you need like 4 hives or something. So I was like, okay, well, like I started like going with this other person on removals and like helping, and he was like, you want the bees? And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? Like, I'm new, I don't know anything. So like, anyway, whatever, it just went crazy from there. And like, long story short, my husband had 0 interest in actually being a beekeeper. He just wanted the honey. And as soon as he realized like I was willing to like do all the beekeeping work, he was like, hell yeah, man, she's gonna like do it all for me. And then I was like, man, I might as well like monetize this. So I don't know.
Right. So does he still make the mead?
Yes, he does, but he doesn't drink it. So because he can't like really drink anymore. So this last year, we entered his mead into like the Texas Beekeepers Association like contest, and it won. Like overall, it won for the whole convention.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well,
congrats.
Okay, so if he makes it, but he can't drink it, I can.
Yes. We'll volunteer as tribute.
Yes.
You'd have to come down to Austin. There's very, very strict rules on
you don't have to tell me twice.
In our state. We cannot ship anything lest we be in trouble.
How about
I'm familiar with your ABC stores and the fact that you cannot buy hard alcohol. Wait, is it hard alcohol or any alcohol on Sundays?
You cannot buy okay, liquor stores have to be closed on Sundays, and beer and wine can only be sold after noon, like 12 p.m.
After church.
Yeah. In general, you can't buy liquor at any place other than a liquor store.
The liquor store.
Or like a grocery store, anything. You have to go specifically to a liquor store to buy hard liquor, and then they have to be closed at 9. And then there's a lot of counties in Texas that are still dry counties. For those of y'all that don't know what that is, you can't buy alcohol at all.
So you think that's bad? Rhode Island
but
is
you can
way
have
worse
guns.
than that. Like in Rhode Island,
you can have guns.
The only place you could buy alcohol in anywhere in Rhode Island is what we call the package store. You have to buy any alcohol in a liquor store. They are all closed by 9 p.m. They are not open on Sundays. And so like if you decide last minute to throw a party on a Saturday night, you're driving to Massachusetts to go to the liquor store because like you can't do anything.
At least you have that option. Like for me to drive out of Texas is like 12 hours. So
well, Oklahoma, you might get lucky. So Oklahoma had very similar laws about 2 years ago. They changed. They completely changed. So now we have you can buy hard alcohol in grocery stores. They're open on Sundays. Like they totally changed that. And now we've got breweries all over the place that are awesome. Like, so who knows? There's a possible good future. Possible.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Texas really is like, if it's gonna make money for the bigwigs, yes. Otherwise, I'm not really interested in
Well, that's
changing.
why it changed here, is because of the whole like the distributors, the alcohol distributors. Like it actually made more sense for them because they were going to make more money.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
All about the money.
Texas also historically has like really high drunk driving record rate. So we're not exactly the most responsible state for imbibing.
Yeah. Coin Demon says Northern Ireland has similar drink laws. I feel like, well, yeah, no, it makes sense. Rhode Island and Northern Ireland, Catholic, extremely Catholic.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Rhode Island
when I think of Ireland, I'm like, what do you mean? Aren't the pubs open at like 4 a.m.? Like 24/7? I don't even know, but
yeah,
like,
it's got to be a Catholic thing because Rhode Island is 93% Catholic. Between the Italians and the Irish, it's all Catholics. Like I was the only not Catholic that I knew. So, yeah.
So, sorry, I want to catch up on the chat really quick because I saw a comment from Trinity Black. I don't know if you know who that is, Briz, but they said, hope you got a decent return on white paint.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Did you get the
white paint?
Did you get the white blueprint?
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Let's get back on.
Let's circle back really quick.
Yeah.
So I think that this is actually really important for people to know. So sorry, it's happening 2 hours into the stream. Long. But I took statistics while I was there so that people who, didn't live in El Salvador would actually know what was up. Okay, so it's not very hard to get the blueprint. I got it on vault number 16 and my husband got it on vault number 38.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
So
that's like the green.
Yeah, it drops like more like the green and the yellow type of blueprints. Like it's a pretty easy to get blueprint. If you go down with your, keys, you're gonna, we both had it within like the first 30 minutes that we were playing in the country. Of course, we're riding on a bus, kind of like what I talked about earlier. It's just a constant. I think the biggest thing is getting your internet to work there. I mean, your cell service blows.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah. So that's like the biggest challenge. So it's pretty easy to get that blueprint. Now, the other thing is kind of like I talked about, there's like almost no user vault infrastructure in a lot of the cities, pretty much all of the cities outside of San Salvador, which is the capital city. And so you're hitting a system vault. So the drop rate on resources is like abysmal. So my drop rate was 33%. So, that's like really, really bad. And
what are the drops, if you don't mind me asking? Is it still the same, like 25 and
yeah, it is
like 25 paint and then
yes, it's
variety.
And then it's like the 25 to 500 resin variety. Yes.
Right.
So it does have,
but it's just more scarce.
Well, because
the resource boxes,
because you're hitting system vaults
percentages,
and they have a much lower drop rate. Yeah.
In general,
calculated my drop rate on the system vaults to be 33%.
Yeah.
Right. So
that seems like about average. Yeah.
So then, would you say like a quarter of that was white paint?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
I would have. In my head, I'm thinking it's all white paint.
No, it's less than a quarter. Okay, so the most common color is green. The second most common color is white. Then I personally like blue and yellow were tied for me, and then there was red. So
you were spot on, Korkio.
All of the vaults that I did the whole time I was there, over 400 vaults, I got exactly 0 purple paint. No purple paint the whole time I was in that country. So I don't know if purple paint doesn't drop from system vaults there.
Have you messaged Strawn about that?
I haven't, but
we need this info.
Crazy.
I'm about to send him a DM.
And Shu brought up a good point. Did you hit any happy hours while you were there?
I did not hit happy hour. White paint does not drop from happy hour, though.
Right.
Okay.
I knew that going in that it would not drop from happy hour. The problem that I kind of mentioned was that I didn't have
me
car. Too. So
right.
It's super easy to hit a lot of vaults when you are like on a bus or something. But every time happy hour hit when I was in El Salvador, it was not during daylight hours. And
you don't want to go out.
You don't want to go out. Yeah.
I wasn't going to go out alone as a single female. El Salvador,
absolutely,
I'm sure it's perfectly safe, but it felt sketchy as hell to me. Even
not in a place you don't know.
Capital, I felt way safer in Honduras. I felt safer in Honduras.
But never in a place you don't know.
And then the other thing is like the way that the vaults are laid out with like in the cities, like it's system vaults. And so like if I were to like, walk for the whole hour, I probably really would have only been able to like reach 10 vaults anyway. So
yeah,
I didn't feel like
not
it
worth
was like a great, I was like, not happening for me. But okay, so the other thing is, did anyone have any more questions on that before I keep going through like stuff?
Not that we saw.
That's different. Okay.
No.
Yeah, so it's like white is the second most common color, but it's pretty rare. I also never got white to drop from a green vault while I was there. So I was hitting as many greens as I could, hoping for 100 drop on white. I don't know if it's possible to drop from a green vault or not, but I wasn't able to hit like a gazillion green vaults while I was there.
Yeah, would you say the green to the green vault ratio there versus in the States is about the same? Like how many green vaults unique green vaults did you see?
I think it's good. Like it's certainly better than where I live. Like
oh, there was more?
Yeah.
How many unique ones would you say?
It's hard to say. Okay, so like you can like pull up the map. Like I ended up hitting like 5 or 6 unique ones, but that's basically just because like where I had access to, like if a green vault was on the road, like I probably saw like 30 or 40 though, but I can't reach them off to the side as I'm like driving or whatever. And I didn't even go into like the capital, and I'm pretty sure that there's a lot in the capital. Someone posted a screenshot off topic the other day of like, I think it was the Philippines, and showed like there are blue system vaults in the Philippines. I don't know if those exist in El Salvador. I never saw them.
Because that's what I was imagining. Like I imagined
from my experience.
I imagine blue system vaults being like our green system vaults. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Like scarce.
White system vaults, and then they have green system vaults. And I never saw a single blue system vault anywhere. So I don't know if they're there or not. I didn't.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Again, we traveled a fair bit of the country, but we never went into the capital, so they could be there. The other thing that's different is that the key return drops. So white keys drop in duplicate when you get a key return, so they don't drop as singles like we get here, and the drop rate is not great. So be glad that you live in a country that is blue key drop.
I was just gonna ask you. Well, I've been dying to ask you because like you said you had to kind of ask the devs to, I mean, not kind of, you did have to ask them, because just getting white vaults or getting white keys isn't possible based on where you started the game. Yeah. So my follow-up question to that was like, what is the return rate and what does that look like when you're hitting all of these white system vaults? Because obviously we know the resource return rate is already so low. So
I calculated it out. My personal return rate was 6%. So I'm guessing that it's probably 5%. I'm guessing
robbery.
On a large average, it's probably like a 5% like key back. But I mean, I guess you do get 2 white keys, so maybe
so it's like 10% if you're
it's pretty
that's
low.
Crazy though.
Hardcore hunting.
Pretty low.
Like I don't even know what that is. Yeah, that's so disappointing.
Yeah. So okay.
Come on, Illusion Weaver. Let's fix these fucking numbers. What the hell is that?
So I was
what?
So like basically I used all of my keys and I got 800 white paint. That's it. That's all the white paint I got.
And remind
400.
Yeah.
400 for the blueprint?
420?
Yeah.
No. 420 keys, I'm saying.
Oh.
And I got 800 white paint.
And how much does it take to print the white QB?
500. So I was really hoping I could get enough to print 2 white QBs, but I couldn't, and I ran out of keys.
Wow.
And the thing is I probably could have hit like another 300 vaults on the way out, but I ran out of keys at like 3 a.m. And so it's not like I can be like, yo, devs, can you just like convert me to white keys? Or, hey, can you actually, what would have been amazing is if I had been like, if they had been like, we noticed you're in a white key country. Would you like to down forge your blue keys? That would be super, super helpful.
Or like your walking quests. If you could get keys for walking that were white instead of blue on your walking quest.
Sure, that would still help. But like, let's say I want to go back to El Salvador. I want to go to the Philippines. I now have no white keys. So like, I can't even like, let's say I flew to the Philippines next week. I'm going to start with like, and I'm like, please convert me onto the white key system. I'm going to start with like 8 white keys for my first mystery box. Like, I'm not even going to have enough keys to like really like, play while I'm there. Like, you really need to go in with keys ahead of time. So I don't really know what the solution is. Like, I think being able to down forge your keys when you go to like a white country would be super valuable. I mean, cause like it was tricky. Like, it was 3 a.m. and I'm like, there's 4 more hours before I left the country that I'm just driving on the road. Oh, and happy hour hit then too. So I could have actually played that happy hour, but I was out of keys, and like, I can't really ask them at 3 a.m. like, can you
please help me?
Can you help me or whatever? Although I did like later on when it was like a more reasonable time, I was like, can y'all do this? And they were like, well, put in a ticket, but it was still like, I wasn't going to be able to like hit a mystery box while driving or like do a walking quest. So it wasn't really going to work anyway. So yeah, I do think that they, especially because they're starting this like travel leaderboard in the upcoming months, like I do think that they really need to put some thought into how they're going to manage keys for people who are like traveling to other countries that aren't their natural like country key color. And again, devs,
or their country of origin.
If you guys want to chat with me about this, I'm like more than happy to give y'all ideas and like tell y'all like my experience more. Illusion Mover KKP, if y'all are listening to this and want to like ping me on Discord.
Oh, they listen.
Super happy to like talk more like different ideas for how to do that. Like, and I know that there are other people in North America who like they just straight up forged up all their white keys that they were given at one point. Well, like if they travel out of the country, they're in the same.
So that's a mistake.
That was dumb.
Bit mine, but like
Yeah, so you did it the right way. At least if you got them, you're gonna spend them while you're there.
That's why I want to say like, okay, so. Yeah, the paint is real hard to get. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
and it shouldn't be that hard when fucking green and yellow paint drops like it's
probably
I don't even know what to compare it to. Bees.
User vaults, right? Like user vaults have like I would have been getting the double the paint drops.
Yeah,
out of user
common
vaults.
should be common.
But it's system vaults because there's not a lot of vaults built up in that country, especially in certain cities. Like I mentioned, like San Salvador, which is like the second biggest city, or no, I'm sorry, Santa Ana, which is like the second biggest city, which is where we are, but it's up by the mountains. There's 2 user vaults in the city that I saw, and I didn't see a single dozer. So, and on the El Salvador chat, they were like, dude, no one plays out there. They warned me ahead of time. They were like, if you can bring your vaults down, you probably should try to do that. It's just, like,
you could see if you were going to be there for like a month, like kind of how Strawn was.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, that would make sense.
He
but
did play. He was like more down on the beach, and he was in San Salvador, so he was in like the capital. So
Bitcoin Beach area.
Easier for him. Yeah, actually, even though I wasn't in Bitcoin Beach area, I did take photos. So we went to like a little street festival for a little like pueblo, which is basically like a little town down there. And the vendors selling all their street food, and it says like in Spanish, "We take Bitcoin." It was cool. It was cool. I was like, oh my
That
God.
is sick.
I
Yeah.
can buy food out of my Uphold wallet, which I didn't.
Oh wait, so yeah, while we're on that note, let's try to hit a couple of points on our notes here.
Yeah. Oh wait,
so-
yeah. Hold that thought. Okay.
No, please, yes.
Okay. So
Interrupt me anytime.
another thing about the vaults. Okay, so the user vaults down there, if you hit a white user vault and you get a perfect, it pays you 5 cents. And if you hit a system vault and get it perfect, it pays you 1 cent.
Because they're boosted right now, right? Because they're in that boosted mode.
Yeah, but I thought the
Seems
user
like the
vaults
opposite of
as
boosted.
being boosted was supposed to pay you 2 cents. I don't know though, but that's what the payouts are currently. And like I said, the cell service is crap down there. So even when you hit perfects, you get a lot of greats and goods. Okay, so and then someone asked about the return on white paint. Yeah, so no, I didn't get a great return on white paint. So like 3 days ago, someone sold like 220 or 375 white paint. Yeah, 375 white paint, and they sold it, and it closed at like 270 keys. So, and you know, like when we planned this trip, like white cubies were selling really well, and I was like, great, like I'm gonna hopefully maybe like
Top a
get 2
couple.
white cubies and sell them for like 400 to 500 keys a piece. I'll get a red key. Life will be so great. Okay, and then like the market is just like shit on itself since then, and like white keys are selling for like.
Well, I still haven't bought a white QB, so let me know if you want to sell one. I will happily bid that shit up.
I got one for like 200 and something.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's right.
The market is like dropping out on them. So I was like, okay, well maybe I'll just sell it as white paint instead. So I listed 300 white paint, but it only went. And I want to thank everyone who was on Discord and was like super nice and like bid it up. Like thank y'all are awesome. But even with like all like the Discord community helping it closed at like 120 keys. So like the market's like
not enough
falling out. And I haven't printed my white key because I was hoping. Well, actually, I was like, I need keys. So I was like, well, if this 300 white paint does well on the sales, I just won't print a white QB. I'll never even print. I'll just sell the paint. Yeah, desperate for desperate measures. But but the paint didn't sell that well either. So maybe I'm just going to print that white QB and sell it. You know?
I think you need to. We have some questions for you again in the chat since we've circled back. Sorry, you guys, we had to move on from all of the alcohol talk, but amazing points that were made that we are on the same page in other states. Fantastic. Crashman, I think you had touched on this earlier, but you did not receive white keys from your mystery boxes because of your origin of where you started the game, right? Okay.
That's correct. So Crashman asked that based on your origin country. So like if I were to move to El Salvador, I would have to like message the devs and be like, I need you to override the system and change my country to the white country now. So like what they fixed with this latest update where they basically geo-locked vaults is like when Strawn went to El Salvador, he was there during Bitcoin Beach, but he wasn't getting pupusas and surfboards. Like he was getting just normal paint and resin because the vaults hadn't been geo-locked. So it was like, it was giving him based on his country of origin. So in this latest update, what they fixed was it didn't matter where your headquarter was. It didn't matter which country of origin was. Like the vaults are now geo-locked. And so
they know where they are.
So like you're hitting a vault in El Salvador, it's giving you the El Salvador. So I was in El Salvador while the USA event was happening. I was not getting USA resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
But obviously your mystery boxes were still locked in that.
And blue keys for walking. Oh, and another fun fact. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just okay. Don't let me lose that thought on another fun fact. But Hoth would like to know yellow keys for buddy quests. Did you have a buddy quest while you were there?
I didn't have a buddy quest. No, I did set my headquarters in El Salvador and turned buddy quests on. I did not get a buddy quest while I was there though. I would have gotten a yellow key though, again, because my origin country is the United States. I would have continued to get a yellow key. If I had been converted over onto the white key system though, I would have gotten what they get for a buddy quest, which is 5 greens.
Okay. So that's an interesting, if we have a buddy that's in El Salvador and we're in the States, we get a yellow key while they get 5 greens.
That's correct.
Got it. Okay. Fun fact that you were about to drop before I interrupted you.
The vaults don't end at the El Salvador borders. They go outside of the borders. Yeah, I didn't know that. So I was in Honduras like on like the east side of Honduras, and then we were taking this bus, so we were going like to Honduras, or from Honduras to El Salvador, and you have to go through Guatemala. So I'm like at the Guatemala to El Salvador border. I turn on the game, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? There's vaults on both sides of the border. I'm like, holy shit! Like, I should have had the game on. Like, what the hell? Yeah. So I don't know how far. Like, because we're going in, we're at the border going in El Salvador. So I'm like, well, how far out do these vaults go? So then, I mentioned like I ran out of keys like well ahead of like when we left El Salvador. So I just left the game running. Like, and we get to the border, El Salvador back to Honduras. I just leave the game running. And I think the vaults go maybe between 5 and 10 miles outside of the borders of El Salvador. So the vaults kept going for 10 minutes, and the guy driving us was going about 60 miles per hour. But I don't know that the road we were on was exactly like a straight line perpendicular to the border, Okay. So I don't know that we were driving exactly like,
could have been inside or outside of like country lines,
like meandering, and we were definitely in Honduras, but the road's kind of like meandering.
You don't know that it was exactly 10 miles. It was like
I don't know it's exactly 10 miles. So it goes somewhere. It's 5 to 10 miles outside of El Salvador is where the vault's actually in. So here's a fun fact: if you're gonna go to like Nicaragua, if you're gonna go to Honduras, if you're gonna go to Guatemala, these are all the countries adjacent to El Salvador. And you're going to any parts of the countries that are close to the border, you should turn on your game because there's gonna be white vaults there for you to hit.
So funny that you said that. Go ahead.
Although Illusion Weaver might fix it after I spill the beans on that.
No. It's actually he might make them appear for you.
So those were all system vaults.
Yeah, those are system vaults. Yeah.
Okay. So Kevo Strings has joined the chat. He says that he hit a white vault on Friday, and I'm sure you're familiar with Kevo. He's in Canada.
Yeah, KP dropped him a special white vault.
Did I totally miss this? Was this in the Discord?
Yeah, he's a favorite child, okay?
Yeah, he is a favorite
of course
child.
He is.
He's a favorite child that still gets banned from the Discord, though.
Yeah, that's
why he only got a kid, man.
Because he says West Beach Music came to, what it was? It was from all their crying. Okay. No, just kidding, Kevin. We love you guys.
I did see that West Beach Music doxed him in the Discord. It took his Twitter photo of Kevo Strings, and then Inakura was talking about how handsome Kevo Strings was, and how did we not know he was so handsome?
Yeah, there's got like a man crush situation happening there.
I mean, I can see his photo right now.
Yes, but if you follow him on Instagram, that's like. Maybe it's just on this app, but on other apps. I'm
not young enough for Instagram.
He's already done it. Yeah, he's already done it. It wasn't anything West Beach.
No, but that's what Kevo said. Kevo said he was being doxxed.
Oh, girl. No, you were not. Kevo, stop. Stop it. But yeah, they were at a pub. Him and West Beach met. I think you guys were at a rodeo, weren't you? You say a pub, rodeo. But I saw a rodeo.
In Canada?
So yeah, apparently... Yes.
Yeah, they were.
I'm not kidding you.
They asked KKP like in Discord, "Hey man, will you drop us a white vault here?"
And he's like, right, ladies of the Hunt stream,
sure. Hey,
white vault right now.
Illusion Weaver
for everybody.
Can I get Koa Wood on my birthday? It's August 2nd.
Yeah, you have to be Manila or Kobo.
I mean, how about I'll just be Brizzleella? It's like Brizzle with Manila at the end.
Or be like, okay,
God.
Illusion Weaver, we're obviously going to go meet the chief next month. Can you just put a string of white vaults up the mountain? Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
idea. Oh my God. Let's plant the seed early, babe.
Unless those vaults are dropped in 100% white paint, they're just, you don't want those.
yeah,
And
I
then
know.
could we maybe have like a purple vault at the top of the volcano when we get there?
I don't have a purple key. Well, maybe none of us do, so they
You
could
go
put
find
one
one.
there. Find one. Yeah, because they're just laying around. Ugh.
Oh my God. Nikki, what is Kevo making you?
Nikki
Yes,
says that
see?
Kevo is making her the coolest QB. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Kevo, so earlier before you
Yeah.
joined, I kind of got talked into, they are telling me I need to get a custom QB from you. So they're
Before the rates go up.
yeah,
Wink.
especially before the rates go up. So they're proposing I get a beekeeper QB, so maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah, you could do a QB in like the suit with the hat and the mesh and all the stuff.
Yeah, so
And
I
then
don't-
maybe it's like a Texas patch on your, if you still want to have Texas
I don't
in
know.
there.
I don't have. Okay, so there's what's called.
Don't
the
let
helmet,
Texas hold you back, okay?
Like the helmet hat. I don't have that. I wear a veil, like a fencing veil style.
Ooh, that's cool.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. But you don't have like a brim?
No, that's lame. Sorry. Okay, that is what I'm talking about, like the helmet style with the big brim that goes all the way around.
You just have a
And-
veil.
Okay,
That's
it's
cool.
not like
I
that.
like
yeah,
that.
It's a veil. It's like a fencing veil.
So
Yeah, I like that.
what I did for
I'll post a picture and off topic at some point.
Because
yeah,
I'm guessing, I mean, there's got to be like a rest of the head protection or
Yeah.
mesh.
Yeah,
It's all
okay.
mesh,
It's
right?
all mesh. Yeah, I'm in.
I thought
Texas. You
fencing
have
was
to
like
wear
a
mesh
helmet.
suit.
with metal. Like-
They use like it's like plastic in the bee suits.
Mhm.
I'll post some pictures. It's
Okay.
probably not described.
So what I did for Kevo for my custom QB is I sent him a selfie. Obviously, he got the sunglasses right, and like
Purple.
I told him I love cows, and I smoke a lot of cigarettes. So he made my custom QB like this.
Yeah,
and I think it came out pretty good.
yeah, no, it's
You
great.
perfected that.
I haven't.
No,
I'm
see, I
like
still
wait,
haven't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he knows what you look like. And so just send him a picture of like your outfit that you wear beekeeping and like maybe a couple other things that you like. And yeah, he's good at that.
Yeah.
He just like comes up
Yeah.
with some concepts and then he's like, what do you think about this? And then if you don't like it, be honest and tell him what you want him to tweak because he's good about
Okay,
that. He
that's
gave me
cool,
like
'cause
10
I'm
different
just-
hairstyles.
Pretty bad about that. You know, I've got like that Southern politeness drilled into me. So it's like today
Don't be a
we
yes
go
man.
to the yeah, no, I'm totally a yes man. My husband and I we're walking our like vault route, and so we walked down to the like snow cone shop, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try this flavor, and it totally sucked. I made a terrible choice, and the guy's like, do you like it? I'm like, it's so good.
And
What-
you,
what
like,
flavor
throw it in
was
the
it?
trash on your way out?
Yeah, what
It
flavor was the terrible choice?
It was
Was
like,
it the tiger blood?
Pecan.
No, it was coffee caramel
What?
mocha. I was like, and it had whipped cream. I was like, oh, this will be so good, like a frappuccino. And I was like, honey, will you just eat this? Like in the fridge. I'm like, he can eat it later. I barely any of it, but
The best snow cone flavor is tiger's blood. That was my favorgot flavor.
man, this
Tiger's
guy makes
blood? What the
this
heck?
thing called tiger's blood is good, but this guy makes it's got coconut cream, it's got coconut flavor and pineapple flavor, and then he puts
Ooh.
actual shaved coconut and pineapple in it. And I forgot what he
Ooh.
calls it. My husband always gets it. It's like the best one.
Sounds like wonderful.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah. Now I want
Hey,
ice cream.
I've got this awesome
Ice cream
mocha
right?
one in the fridge.
You kept it?
Oh, for my husband. I don't know if he's gonna eat it or not. He might just throw it out.
Oh. No, but seriously, I mean, you're going to be buying a product from a product maker. I mean, I get that you just did that and lied about it, but like, don't lie
Yeah.
about this because you
Okay.
want your QB to actually represent you and you don't want to, like, I have a really bad tattoo that did not come out the way I wanted. And I'm stuck with that forever.
Yeah,
How many
that
custom cubies are you going to buy? One.
Yeah.
So,
Not
like, make sure
necessarily.
it's good. I mean, yeah, you could get more, but, like, it's your branding. You want to start with strong branding and stick with
That's
it.
true. That's true.
Which is why Korkio is wearing her sunglasses today. Did anybody notice until, like, literally I'm just pointing it out right now?
Yeah.
I honestly, like, I came in from being out at dinner. It was really sunny, and I totally just forgot to take them off my head. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, look it. We match. Oh, wait, I'm still doing it wrong.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I took a few more notes while I was in El Salvador.
Oh,
so
yes.
I think there's a few more things I didn't mention. Okay, yeah, so I think I've covered cell phone services bad. Usually I could do in the mountains, I could do about 2 vaults, and then the game would freeze. I'd lose internet connection, and couldn't just restart the game. I'd have to restart my phone entirely. So that was frustrating. Oh, and the GPS tracking is really bad there too sometimes.
Oh. What kind of phone do you have?
It's not my phone. My husband had the same problems. It's the network there.
Yeah, but was it like were you on Android 12? Are you on iOS?
I'm on it. We're both on Androids. Yeah, neither of us are iPhone. We're both Androids, and yeah, we have the latest Android operating system.
Okay.
So if that's 12, then yeah, our phones are both like very new. Oh, and then so GPS tracking all over the place. So yeah, you'd be driving down the road, and sometimes you'd be like, your QB would be veering way off to the side, so you couldn't even like hit that vault. But there were so many vaults that the vault density is really good on the roads. Like,
did you ever try changing the GPS mode in the menu to see if it helped, and it never helped?
I would, and sometimes it would just like jump me really far, and but then it would like freeze me. So like GPS 2 would like jump me to a new spot, but then I wouldn't move. So I'd have to go back to GPS 1. Oh, here's a fun thing I forgot to mention. Oh, placing a headquarters. Oh my God, that was so fun. Except not fun at all.
It gave you that error that you're like too close to something, like way too many times.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I was not allowed to place my headquarters in Honduras until I had been in the country for about 16 hours. And someone had postulated that, so the idea is you have to interact with something in the game. So I even did a walking quest and finished my walking quest. So I did interact with a walking quest box, and that did not trigger me being allowed to place my headquarters. However, when I went to El Salvador, I was able to place my headquarters immediately. And then when I left El Salvador and wanted to place my headquarters again in Honduras, I had only it's a long trip to get, but out of El Salvador all the way to Rotan, because you got to drive through all the way to Honduras and then take the ferry. So it was about 8 hours after I think I destroyed my headquarters, but I was able to place it immediately again. So I don't understand. Like, there was a big ass gap between me being allowed to place it coming out of the United States, but then not coming out of El Salvador. So
you got lucky, because the 2 weeks that I was in Roatan, I was told I couldn't take my headquarters with me. So I just missed 2 weeks of mystery boxes back then. Now, they were small mystery boxes back then.
I didn't realize that you were playing when you went there.
I wasn't. Because, I wanted to...
You know what I mean. I didn't know you were,
Oh, yeah, it was Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving.
Oh,
so, yeah.
shit. Last year.
So, I was listening to Fire on his interview
while
I was walking on the beach. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I did.
So,
I'm lying.
But I was told at the time that I couldn't put my headquarters there. And I was thinking of putting my headquarters there and putting some user vaults there. And they said I would not be able to do that, which I found interesting, because I remember someone had put their... a user vault at the Eiffel Tower. Before.
I was told the same thing, that user vaults wouldn't get approved in Honduras, but Manila's in Romania with an approved user vault right now. So
I should never have listened.
The messaging is always consistent, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, but I do know it took. It was really 24 hours outside the United States before I could place headquarters the first time. But then there was not that same time lock when I came from El Salvador back to Honduras. And additionally, I never got a photo quest in El Salvador.
Really?
El Salvador did not trigger photo quest. The only one I got was when I clicked on the yellow crane that was in Santa Ana. I clicked on yellow crane to basically see how much resin was in it, and that triggered a photo quest at that yellow crane.
That's interesting, because you can't even hit it for crypto.
Right.
Yeah, right. So no vaults triggered it at all. So, and then the other thing is, okay, so when you're out of the country and you place your headquarter, you get like this, before you go to place your headquarter, it gives you this question. It basically, I forget the wording. It's like, the game's not supported in the country you're in. Like, answer this question for crypto. Okay, so I got that question the first time I placed my headquarter in Honduras, and then again the next time I placed in Honduras, and both times I got it, it was like the answer was like wrong. Okay,
wrong.
So the first time, yeah, like if you don't actually get crypto, I guess like all the answer choices must be wrong, because the first time I got it says which country is not in South America, and I picked France and it said the answer is wrong. And then the next time I got it, the next time I got it, it was like
even like subjectively wrong.
Yeah, no, it was like it was homophones, but I don't remember like which one. It was like complete or compete, or it was two, they're spelled
aisle or aisle.
They sound exactly the same, but I don't remember exactly which. It was like a CO word or something. Anyway, it was like, that's wrong. So I'm like, I don't actually think you can get crypto for those questions. I think all the answer choices are wrong. So that might be a bug, or that might be by design. I don't really know, but
it's definitely not by design.
No,
that's what that is.
And I didn't think you could get crypto. I thought you only got resources.
Well, I don't know. It says answer this question to get crypto. So I don't actually know how much crypto you would get had you gotten the answer right, because the answers were wrong both times. I mean,
and it would depend on what
both times.
It would depend on what country you're in too, depending on how much crypto you'd get. So that is likely a bug, because
I'm not sure about that.
Because I do know that screen says answer this question and receive free crypto. I literally just saw it today.
Yes.
So
interesting.
I mean, not on my phone, but I'm like another person's, obviously, but from another person's screenshot. So interesting.
That's pretty much like the recap of what was specific to like El Salvador.
Well,
that's way more than I was expecting to hear. Like, there was so much info.
I have a notebook because I got like a shiny object memory. Like, man, remember stuff for 5 minutes if I don't write it down.
Yeah, that's all lots of really good info.
And I never once got a blue key to drop from a white vault. That's another thing. Blue keys do not drop out of white vaults. Maybe if it's possible that they drop out of user vaults. Again, like I was basically having to hit all system vaults, so I don't know. But don't know about that. To my knowledge, you cannot get a blue key drop out of a white vault at all.
Interesting.
So, that is El Salvador thing. I think that was like the third thing on the list. So
I was just looking back at our notes, and I'm like, okay, so one of the next things is like what's your favorite QB and what do you usually wear? But I feel like we all already know the answer to this.
Yeah, so it's like
yellow dragon.
Yellow dragon. Okay, so back to like way at the beginning of the conversation when you asked like how did I get into this and what was it like at the beginning? Okay, we never finished that, so let's talk about that. So we start playing, and like this is before the keys have gone away. It's like mid-January, and then like, oh my god, this is so cool. I didn't even know about user vaults. I'm just like, oh my god, look, this thing pays us crypto. It's look, and sometimes we get these resources. They're so cool. And then we happen to be playing, and like the clock clicks on, and it's happy hour, and we have no idea what that is. And so we're just playing, like the happy hour category pops up, and we're like, oh wow, like this one category has like this blue ring running around it. Let's click on that. And so then like we get it, and we get like shit ton of pain, and we're like, oh my god. And then because I play Pokemon Go, like we went to, so we knew nothing about this game basically. So I'm like, okay, like let's Google. So wiki pops up and the wiki's like join the Discord. So I'm like, oh, I know what Discord is. I was on Discord before. That's great. So I joined Discord. And so that's how you were like, oh, your name like shows up as the Brizzler instead of the Brizzle. And that's because my previous Discord handle was the Brizzler. And I guess sometimes, even though I've overrode it, it like defaults that. But yeah, the Brizzle is my game name. But and so we joined Discord, and then I see like, I was a really serious Pokemon Go player. So I'm like, this game's like, even it's like Pokemon Go, but they're paying me to play it. This game is the shit. And I can basically build stuff by my house. Oh my God, like the coolest thing ever.
I don't think I've opened Pokemon since.
Like, level addiction right out the bat. Like day one, I'm a full-blown addict. Okay. And so I'm like, we have to build like this awesome loop of vaults, and I can go and recruit everyone and blah, blah, blah. Oh, let's like get on Discord, and oh, look, this is the minimum distance of vaults, let's map it out. And oh my God, there's this event coming up, like, oh, I'm gonna need all these keys. Okay, let's drive around the city and collect all these keys. Like, yeah, so I did that. And I'm used to like playing like Pokemon Go events where you literally pretty much have to drive for 12 hours straight to like get a shiny. Like you really, really have to grind. So I'm like, okay, I got to prep all these keys going up to this event, and then I'm going to like just grind this event. So I didn't really know like what the grinding would look like. I just like opened Anakura's map, and I was like, I knew from the Discord that the user vaults had a much higher like resource drop rate than the system vaults. So I was like, okay, well, I'm like a new player. I don't have a lot of keys. I need to be as efficient as possible. I'm only hitting user vaults. So I used the Anakura's map, and I just hit every single user vault in my city every day, twice a day, which at the time there was like about maybe 200 vaults. So I spent about 12 hours a day in the car, like hitting all the vaults. So I was hitting about 400 vaults a day, and then between then collecting keys. And so,
wait, did you just say 400 vaults a day?
Yeah, during Chinese New Year, I hit 400 vaults a day. Yeah,
200 twice a day. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
A day. Okay. So I was just like grinding the way I would have like as intensely as I would have played Pokemon Go.
Okay.
So I had no concept that basically because at first, like when I first started playing this game, which was like literally only like 2 or 3 weeks before Chinese New Year started, I was like, dude, this QB thing is dumb. Why do people get like obsessed with these QBs? Like, whatever. I'm all about the crypto. Like, you just get on Discord and like search my name like early January, and you'll have a laugh fest. And so I was like, I don't understand. And people like, you'll get the QB bug, and I'm like, yeah, like whatever. No, I won't.
I was the same way.
We're all in it for the QBs. Yeah.
And then
I was so resistant to Discord. Like, one extra app that I have to download. No thanks.
I like Discord.
2 apps for one game. Get out of here.
Community.
I had to teach myself how to use it because I had never used it before.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then they released the graphic for the dragon. I was just like,
the yellow dragon.
Oh my God. It's so cool. Of course, like pathetic. Like, right, man. Like, oh my God, it's the coolest. I have to like get this dragon. Meanwhile, my husband is just like rolling his eyes at me, and he's like, whatever. Like, this shit is just like how you were with Pokemon Go. And by the way, he's the one who's recruited me to this game. So I'm like, hey.
My boyfriend's the same way, except his words were, this is just how you were for wanting to build a community garden.
I don't half-ass anything. I like go 10,000.
I whole-ass everything immediately for like nonstop.
Addiction or nothing, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, I'm like playing Chinese New Year, and I don't have any concept of that this event is like much harder than the other events. Like as far as like it's a straight RNG event, it's just like a hard event to get all the resources. So obviously it's my first event. I don't have any air crystals, so I'm like trying to get air crystals, and I'm like complaining in Discord basically. I'm like, look, I don't like that as like a new player. Like, it's not actually possible for me to like, whatever. Like, you literally had to buy your air crystals on the auction house. I only ended up getting 400 and something, and I ended up with 555 dragon scales. So, but okay, so yeah, like I had enough dragon scales. Like, had I had the blueprint at the time, I would have been the 5th finisher in the USA. I would have finished in the top 5. Like, I was like, hey y'all, like I got dragon scales, and everyone was like, what the hell? Like, I think it was like that Beats or something was like, dude, you just started playing this game. Like, what the hell? And I was like, I mean, I don't know. This is like, gotta grind, like whatever. Like I didn't really have a concept like of like it, like Hawaii
RNG plus,
yeah.
you know,
well,
a little bit of beginners left.
So I hadn't gotten no, I was hitting like crazy amount of vaults, hitting all the green vaults, like, but I hadn't gotten the dragon blueprint to drop. So like really I was like, I mean, I can't do anything. I need this blueprint to drop. And then like I gotta buy like air crystals on the auction house too, which was extremely difficult for me also because I wasn't at my headquarters to be bidding. Like I'm out in the field, like playing the game constantly. So I'm like, oh shit, like I can't win any auctions. Like anytime I put a bid in, like I have no idea when these in. Like I'm getting overbid. Like so, ultimately, what I did was I was like, okay, I don't need 800 air crystals, like which was what everyone was buying. I was like, I did a calculation. I'm like, I probably only need like maybe 500. So I'm going to bid on this lot for 500. And then I got so lucky, like no one else bid on it. I'd won it for opening bid of 25. Like, of course, while I'm out grinding, like, you know, I'm like, okay, lucky. I got all the air crystals because I wasn't sure I would ever like successfully win an air crystal auction because I really wanted the blueprint because I was like, at least if I get the blueprint, I can like print after the event. And so I'm like, just like crazy, grinding, and then it's like my key stack, even though I'm like spending all day collecting keys, all the keys in my city, my key stack is dwindling. And then so like I'm down to like my last, I don't know, I think it was like 150 keys, and it's like Friday after reset. So Friday night, and I think the game is ending Sunday before the event ends Sunday before reset. So I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna blow my last keys here and now, try to get the dragon. Like I'm not gonna be able to finish this quest. Like at this point, I'm just gonna hope that I can get the dragon blueprint before the event ends. And then at some point it just like it dropped, like I think at Friday at like 2 a.m. or some shit. And then I just kind of like staring at the screen like in disbelief. I'm like, oh my god, it actually dropped. I can't believe it. It was like I had like 80 blue keys, and I'm like, oh, and now I have to go collect 1,000.
How the heck am I gonna do this?
Yeah, well, Saturday was very unpleasant. So yeah,
I'm right there with you.
And then I printed it, and then obviously you can tell from how many people finished that quest that it was really hard. There was like 50 something people who finished it, but I didn't know. I just assumed that that's like the standard level of play for the game because it's my first event. And then I played Hawaii, and I'm like,
it is the standard level.
Joke. Well, Hawaii was so easy in comparison.
Hawaii was so easy in comparison.
Yeah, I was like, damn,
I mean,
easy. So
yeah, it was, but we were still hunting all day long.
I was not.
I was not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, Danabus, myself, and Marvin's house were hunting all day long.
I hit way more vaults for
it was like a weird
thing Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I drove to other cities for Chinese New Year.
Yeah, Chinese New Year was like very grindy event. But,
dude, so I had been playing since the July before. I had to buy the Yellow Dragon blueprint in the auction house. Like I had to buy it because
they weren't that expensive. They were like 600 after the event, though.
They weren't that bad. And then I was down to 2 blue keys left after I forged my red key. Like, that's how close I was, and that was within the last 15 minutes of the event. Like that's how close. Like I won that Yellow Dragon auction, I think 2 hours before the event ended. But I got it. I finished it. Yeah. And so I was just like you. I wore that Yellow Dragon proudly, so proudly, until I just now bought the Fire Dragon. And so now I wear the Fire Dragon, but like just because I spent so many freaking keys on it, and it's but yeah, I wore that for an extremely long time because that was the hardest blueprint and the hardest event for me.
So
Yeah.
it was my first event. It was a hard event. So, my first epic. So yeah, I like wearing it. But then actually there was a period of time, I don't think a lot of people know this other than Zenny probably knows because she's in my local leaderboard. I actually quit the game a little bit after, like I played 3 weeks after Chinese New Year and then quit the game because I wasn't willing to drive for keys. And
Oh.
there was like,
Ugh.
okay, so my loop had like
Wait.
30 vaults on it, but it only has it had 5 keys you could get. So you can clearly see the math doesn't add up on that.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to play this game to walk, and if I can't answer, I can't do anything while I'm walking. I was like, and I didn't want to be like, I guess they call it zombie driving. I didn't want to be doing that every day. I was like, that's not how I want to spend my time, like sitting in the car. You did this with Pokemon, and I hated that aspect of that game. So I'm just whatever. I'm not playing this game. And then once they converted to walking for keys, I came back to playing.
I bet you were super happy about that.
Right, yeah. Playing a lot.
Came back full force.
Yeah. But
Okay, so
Okay,
I have
my
to
love.
ask then. Oh.
No, I have to take a bathroom break. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
You are welcome to ask, but I'm gonna go for a bathroom break.
Yeah, we'll catch you in a few.
Okay, great.
Hey, that works because I don't have to.
Great.
So, okay.
Yeah, I don't have to pee.
So I have to know, since you played this game specifically as like a walking New Year's resolution thing to lose weight, do you have a total progress that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so for all of y'all that are younger, let me just tell you, do not eat shit. And it's way easier to never put the weight on. Like, listening to your granny giving you advice from a slower metabolism. It's so hard to take it off. Yeah, so I've taken like 15 pounds off, and like
I'm right there with you. I'm at 14.
Not happening. Like it's just like, cool, like I'm done. And I'm like, well, what about all the rest of the weight I need to lose? My body's like, no.
Yeah, my body's just stopped at 14 pounds for like the past couple weeks, and I'm like, come on.
I know. And walking takes like 3 hours. So by the time I'm done walking, I'm like not exactly motivated. Like do other exercise. I'm like, I did a lot of exercise today.
Yeah, I went through my closet a couple days ago and I found that I had a 20-pound kettlebell. So now on top of my walking, I've added some push-ups and some like tricep extensions and some kettlebell lifts and stuff. Because I was like, man, my arms are looking flabby.
Yeah,
it's I could walk all day, but my arms are still gonna look like shit.
Lifting weights or doing like muscular resistance exercises is probably going to be very effective. I think that is going to help you. I'm just not wanting to do that quite yet.
See, if this was a game about lifting weights instead of walking, I would be top of the leaderboards all the time because that's my thing. Like,
dude, I wouldn't be playing the game. No, I'm not. No, that's not gonna.
Man, okay, well that's really cool. Yeah, I'm right with you with the yellow dragon. Like I felt the same way. So I have to ask, did you see the Coin Hut tweet today about the tiger lily softie?
Right away.
So which one are you wearing?
Neither. I own no cats. I own no. Okay, so I own no QBs from before I started playing.
Because
so
you haven't bought any.
I haven't bought any. I just like play earn, and it's hard. I felt like because I wasn't driving for keys, I never built up a surplus of keys to like retroactively buy stuff. And then when everything went to walk for keys, well, like anyone who's walking for keys has a lot of keys now. And then plus people came in with their key stack. So, it's hard to outbid everyone. And I'm a cheap ass also. Like, I'm like, I don't want to pay like 500 keys for a QB. Like, I mean,
yeah, but the cats are cheap.
Epic, but I mean, yeah, so, okay, I was maybe planning to buy the cats, but probably closer to like a little bit like after the shark. And I was thinking like they'd all still, I mean, for a long time they were selling for 25 a piece, like basically opening bids. So, but now they kind of jumped. So I think that's
did they happening. Maybe I need to get back to selling them.
Yeah, well, like Tiger Lily and Softie like majorly jumped after that thing went out. But so I don't have the cats, but if I did have a cat, I would be on Tiger Lily team.
Oh yeah, Mama, what you rocking?
Tiger Lily.
Yeah,
Sorry.
me too.
I just had to go with the masses because I want whatever that rewards box is.
Oh, and I just assumed the masses would go Tiger Lily because Tiger Lily's way cooler.
I agree. Like,
especially with that like
when you could see the
off-color
back
tail.
Yes.
So
it's so cute.
Since you weren't around for the cats, this was really interesting. The devs actually made a mistake when they designed Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily was not supposed to have the actual tiger striped tail. And so they went back. You don't remember this? Yeah, they went back and went to fix it and give Tiger Lily the normal tail just to match the rest of its body. And people were like, what the hell? We really liked that odd tail. So they switched it back.
Oh,
cool. Good.
Yeah. You don't remember that, Mama?
It's like Tigger. No, I don't, for some reason. I do remember, I guess all I remember during that time was, like, the off drop rates where, like, we had a weird confusion of, like, Holly. I can't even remember what it was. Like, Holly, Snoozy, and Tiger Lily. I think
they had the wrong drop rates, and they had to fix it. Yeah.
But my I don't know. My favorite was always the Patches was like the first one I printed, so I don't know why that was always like kind of my favorite. But
yeah, I freaking hate Raja and Boba. I can tell you that because I've got 14
get the
of
heck
each
out
of them.
Yeah, I think Coin Demon said he likes Rhonda, so
you might look on the auction house.
Take them all.
I think they're all selling a little better than opening bids now. Like I think they all kind of like jumped slightly, like. On there's speculative buying happening now.
Yeah,
good. Yeah, about time. Because
the same thing happened with the Doge too.
Yeah,
we need some utility though with the QBs, and even though right now like we only have a little bit of like, okay, it's going to take rare to staff whatever structure and yada yada. I think everybody is kind of realizing like, okay, everything is done with intention, and so we should probably just have like at least one of every QB to move forward.
What if one of our personal structures we can build is a cauldron and we could just throw cats in it to get random shit?
Well, Illusion Weaver.
That's so evil, but I would do it.
It's unfortunate. He said he's changing. I mean, there are going to be cauldrons this year, but he said that throwing the 9 cats for the black cat, he's not going to do that, which I'm very sad about, by the way. But he said no, he's going to change the cauldron recipe for this year.
I think Zenny's correcting me, and Zenny might actually be right. That Snoozy was the one with Tiger Lily's tail by accident, and that's what was weird. Not Tiger Lily had
one having like some weird feature, but there was nothing special about it, and so it was like, okay, well, what's the point?
So let me equip Snoozy for a second. Which one is that? Oh, that one. Okay. So let me see. Does this have a weird tail? Oh, yes. Okay, so Snoozy has Tiger Lily's tail, which is weird because Snoozy is kind of tannish and the tail is bright orange.
Okay, but what about the other one? Isn't there 3 with the same like front side design? It's Tiger Lily, Snoozy, and then is it soft? Is it
Tiger Lily, Snoozy, and Holly?
Holly.
Yeah, Holly.
I think it's Holly. Does Holly have the stripes on the back also?
No.
Okay, so right now
that was just a mistake that they made. I mean, it's stripes, but it's still gray. Like it's the same color as the rest of the cat body. But it has stripes. It just has.
Kevo says slowly switches QB to Tiger Lily.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Kevo. You really thought people were gonna pick the other one? I don't even remember what the other one is.
Softy. Well, okay, I will not lie. Softy is my aesthetic choice because of my aesthetics personally, but I will go with Tiger Lily because.
I like Tiger Lily the best because it's the only one I can tell which one it is without clicking on it to look at its name. Because, all of them look so much the same to me. It's like one cat looks like another cat. And I'm not a cat person, so honestly, I don't give a crap about any of the cats. But if you make me pick one, it's going to be Tiger Lily.
I think
Mine
it's
will be
interesting.
black cat every time.
Yeah. What were you
think
saying,
it's
Brizzle?
I think it's interesting because to me, this Tiger Lily versus
Softy.
Softy. I almost called her
See?
Smoothie.
Yeah.
See, no one knows who the other one is.
Smoothie. I was like Tiger Lily versus Smoothie. Yeah. Okay.
They're
Tiger
all the
Lily
same.
versus other.
Yes.
It really
Blink.
feels like it's kind of like a makeup competition. Like, hey, we had a competition, or we were supposed to get to 700 views on Hunter's Lodge, which, you know, we were along with not happening.
Yeah,
And
they
so
still
they're
want to
like-
give away this thing.
Right. So they were like, oh, well, shit. Like, we were planning to give out boxes. Okay, like let's come up with something else to give out boxes. And this is purely conjecture, by the way, and within my own brain. But so then they're like, let's have this contest. But then the contest is still kind of weird in that, like, obviously not everyone can participate in that contest. And then even of the people who can, like, not everyone's going to get a box because if they pick the wrong cat, you know, they're still like,
No one's going to pick the wrong cat except for Kivo, obviously. Like,
I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. It's like, yeah, so I find it interesting because I'm sure people who were not like watching Hunter's Lodge will be like participating in this and like vice versa. So
yeah. Well, and I think you're right because you know that they do these things specifically so they can insert something into the economy.
Yeah,
Like they
exactly.
have that planned in there for a reason.
exactly.
Yeah.
Cats are coming back. Don't underestimate the cats. The
I don't
cats
know if
are
it
always
has
gonna be
anything to
back.
do with the
I don't
cats.
I don't think it does. Like, honestly,
I think it does.
If we had done fire versus ice, that would have worked better because like there's 3 cubies out of each like lineage, you know, like of the fire, like the and then the ice. And I think
if you didn't have
more
that one
people
thing,
would have
you
been
could.
able to have a QB and participate in that. Like, you know, because basically if you weren't playing last year for cats or you're not like a super avid QB collector, like you don't have cats. So
Yeah, I agree with you. That would have been smart, but hey, they did what they did. We'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah.
Korkio, do you remember there must have been a limit on the cat blueprints, right? I don't think they were endless, right?
Wasn't it like 10,000? Or was it 100,000?
Okay.
100,000. They're common.
100,000.
Yeah.
But I think like 11,000-ish sold according to the wiki.
Yeah, something like that.
So they'll be back for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I'm just wondering how. Do you think that we're going to have like, please God, no cats this Halloween event?
So that's like the question, right? So Illusion Weaver says he's changing the cauldron recipe. So what's the purpose of cats now? Like, are they going to be cats with something else in the cauldron or something else entirely other than cats in the cauldron?
Well, remember he said that, like, different structures can be staffed by different QBs. And, like, the water fountain, I think it was the water fountain, or was it the bank? He gave the example, it can be staffed by any rare, right?
The water fountain, he said.
Yeah. But if you use the water QB, then it's an extra special bonus. So what if there's, like, certain structures that can only be staffed by cats? And if you use, like, a specific cat, then you get a bonus. I mean...
Yeah, that makes sense.
What structure would that be, though?
Giant
what I
yarn
was
ball.
trying to, like... Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of people clamoring for
K-hag structure.
I mean... Couldn't they have done a randomizer with dogs and just had different breeds of dogs? Like...
Please!
So many people actually have a favorite breed of dog. Who has a favorite color of cat?
I mean, they probably do that at some point.
Well, they didn't really do that. They didn't do it in a justified way. Well, I take it back because I love my black cat and I will never sacrifice it. And actually, I'm going to buy a black cat hoodie from our own shop soon.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just feel like they didn't do them in because they didn't do the cats in a breed way. I don't know if they're going to do dogs in a breed way either. I think they're just going to do I'd hope so too, but who knows?
Hey, y'all grab your mystery
wiener dog
boxes.
QB?
Mystery
I'm
boxes.
stream.
Okay.
Okay, wait. I actually just had to look at my inventory to remind myself if I had a black cat or not.
Oh,
I do.
Do you?
But, yeah.
oh, okay.
But I was like, I honestly, I just like, yeah, I was just like, I bought it, but
You guys, I have pretty actually exciting auction house news really quick while we're on cats.
Okay.
So my black cat, like 2 weeks ago, okay, I could have swore somebody else was saying that it was their black cat in the auction house, and I was really confused by it, but my black cat went for over a red key.
That's
What?
awesome. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Zinni
There was a
sold one for
bidding
red
war
key,
between
too.
what?
Zinni also sold one for a red key. Like,
Okay, so I thought
Yeah.
that's what I saw, and then I was like, "Wait, really?" Because I thought there was only one at the time, and I sent it to Post because I was like, "This is buku. I don't know what the fuck is happening," but there was a bidding war between two people, and I can tell. Well, I don't want to call them out by name. They're not like big players, but
Aperture cat?
somebody. No, but it was somebody who had cat in their name. It was like their first name and then cat. But
I mean,
not
that's so
Aperture Cat.
obvious. Oh, okay.
No, it was not Aperture Cat. It was not. I am relieving them of this because it definitely wasn't. But it was not them. But it was them and somebody else, and they kept going back and forth. And I was at work during all of this. And meanwhile, this is the cat that I had posted for Marvin's house. So I had posted it on like a Sunday, like totally off hours and not on the weekend and not when recommended to post a cat, because it was like I was trying to fly it like under the radar for him at the lowest price. And he goes, I'll bid it up and whatever. And I really want to get it. But then this whole fucking bidding war like broke out. And I was like, babe, you're out of this. Like, I keep getting envelopes left and right. I can't even keep up. And I get home and I got at least 9 yellow keys. And I can't even tell you the change. I think it was like 9 greens and 5 blues. I really think it was like right at that mark.
That's crazy.
Which was insane. I
can promise you I did not pay that
lucky.
much for mine.
No. And the first black cat I ever sold was for like 300 and something.
That's about how much I paid for mine, probably.
Right? So I'm like justifying it in my head, like, thank God I'm making that up in the back end. But like, I was blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away.
That's crazy. So Shu and Kevo both said that a cat cafe was mentioned. I must have missed that.
Was it by the devs though?
I didn't hear it in Hunter's Lodge, I don't think.
Not in Hunter's Lodge. It was on Discord. So a lot of players have asked for that repeatedly, and the devs had been like, "Yeah, that'd be cool."
Okay. People and their cats, man. I want me some dogs.
I know. Maybe I gotta start talking about dogs more. I feel like people get annoyed with me when I talk about dogs, but if they're getting QBs, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
The people want what they want.
So, Brizzle, were you able to catch the Hunter's Lodge? Were you able to watch it?
Yeah, I did watch the Hunter's Lodge. Mm-hmm.
Were you like already back, or were you still?
Nice.
No, I was already back. No,
cool.
I was back when it happened, so I watched it from my living room.
What did you think? Did you lose your mind
one?
like we did?
No.
Okay, so I think that man, where do we...
Was it your first Hunter's Lodge? No, it would have been your second.
Hunter. I mean, I didn't watch the last one. Basically, it was when I was like not playing because I don't feel like driving for keys. Remember?
Okay, yeah.
Like, basically, where I was like, I'm not playing this game until I can like go back to walking to play the game. So I was like totally checked out. I mean, I left Buddy Quest on. People would pay me for Buddy Quest, and I would like do Buddy Quest, but like I wouldn't even open all my mystery boxes, like not even every day, like, so yeah, I was like definitely so no, I did not watch the last Hunter's Lodge. Okay, so this Hunter's Lodge, I did mention I have goldfish memory, so how about y'all go through all the things I will mention, and I will tell you my opinion on each thing.
Oh man, there were way too many things.
Like forgotten everything. Okay, let me just go to the wiki really fast. That will be easier.
I just meant like, did it blow your mind?
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about the shit that was like
Because we already did a special
let's talk about it.
a special
Oh.
thing
Yeah,
for it.
Okay.
Okay, so like for example, why don't we talk about the anniversary event, since that's like the next new thing is going to be what?
Okay,
That's
yeah.
starting next week.
So, okay.
Oh,
let's-
yeah,
I
what is
can't even
starting this week?
remember a
Okay.
fucking day.
So okay.
I already listened to it twice too. And I
I've
still
got it.
cannot.
I've got it all pulled up, so I'll go through everything as we go. Okay,
Let's
so there's going to be some new trivia. I'm hoping that books gets like more relevant and less like everyone avoids that shit. Like
I'm
the
still not
plague.
going to click it.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll like dodge it. Oh, and also like on your, so while we're kind of like talking about categories, we haven't actually talked about this, but you had on the outline of stuff like you.
Oh,
were
yeah,
gonna
your
ask
favorites.
my
I'm
favorite
assuming
categories.
science.
Science is like at the top. So science, wordplay, fashion, math, celebrity, geography, general knowledge.
So, like, all of them.
Okay, no, not all of them. So basically, I don't have any middle ground categories. What's up for history? History is like a neutral category. Oh, I like food and drink a lot too. Like everything is either like I love this category or I will never click that category unless I'm like having to stab myself in the eye type thing. Well, I guess art is in the middle ground too. Okay, so film and cinema and favorite category. Okay, so books, TV, sports, U.S. sports, and toys and games are all in the like avoid it like the plague. And toys and games because I don't know who made any video games.
Yeah,
like,
me neither.
My mom did not let me play video games as a kid, so I'm like I don't know any of this stuff at all.
Yep, right
Like
with you.
the board games part of it, gravy. The toys part of it, gravy. But there's like a lot of that is like a landmine for me with like who made what video game. And
Oh, Marvin. Look, we got Marvin.
Who made it? Who made it? Oh my goodness, he
Hey,
won't leave me
Marvin.
alone. Sorry. He kept whining in the background, so I had to get him up.
So
I think it'll be. Oh, go ahead.
I'm with you on toys and games. I accidentally clicked it the other day when I was trying to click technology. But I
love
got
technology. That's so easy too.
I got a question about bobbing for apples, and it asked what type of game it was. And I got it correct because it's a physical skill game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna like rework and have happy hour be only 10 categories a month and boosted happy hour. I think that's great for people. Like
They're doing that in a week,
Stoked
right?
for that.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they're
I'm
gonna
so
do-
excited for that.
Everyone's gonna have happy hour like Spanish speaking countries and English speaking countries.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really good too. Okay, the level 5 headquarter, the next thing that they talked about. Kind of disappointed, I'm gonna be honest. Like, whatever. Like, I mean, yes, getting to load my cosmetic skin is great, but really, like, the other things that they said would happen with level 5 is what I was really hoping for. Like, I wouldn't have to spend a yellow key moving my fucking headquarter like 20
Yeah.
times per week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really hoping that the remote mystery box from your headquarter would roll out now. And yeah, like I tend to travel a lot, so it tends to get really expensive moving headquarters. So I'm sad about that. There's no like functionality on this update to a level 5 headquarter.
You know what's crazy is I was at my mom's place the other day, and we just realized that. So her apartment building, I told you that super cool apartment. The building next door to her apartment building is Target.
Oh wow, you're so lucky.
She could hang out on her couch and print shit from her couch.
Okay,
And so
love
she can hit her headquarters and a print shop at the same exact time.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have a first
lucky.
print like soon.
Yeah.
No, she's never gonna have a first print.
Okay, she's
Well,
like.
all you
got
gotta do is ping her, or you have to be at her house so you can have a first
Yeah,
print.
you could have a first print at her house.
Yeah.
But then
Somebody's gonna have to get this first print.
well, I mean, I'd have to move my headquarters there
Yeah.
if I
That's
was
true,
going to
that's
do
true.
it. I don't get
that's
her
true, yeah.
headquarters.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so I live in a city and I have to drive 10 minutes to get to my closest print shop.
I've got 3 within like 5 minutes for me. But I mean, that's the suburbs. I mean, we've got neighborhood Walmarts and regular Walmarts and Targets. Like, they're like all right here.
Yeah, I gotta drive to the burbs to get to a Target or Walmart. So
Yeah.
It's a bit of a drive. So I'm looking forward to when I can put a print shop on my walking route, but I don't think that's gonna happen at least for like another year. It's not even on the roadmap at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, okay. The next thing was the log cabin headquarters skin. I think that's great because everyone who hasn't completed one of these questions will still get to like change their headquarter from, the standard headquarter to something like better graphically. So
Yeah.
I think that's really cool that they're doing that. Also, it's a nice key burn.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if I kind of feel like we all have a feeling about the headquarters skins like we did about cubies back in the beginning. Like, I'm not going to pay keys just to make my headquarters pretty. And I bet a lot of people feel that way, but I kind of wonder once we actually start doing it if we're going to like feel the same way we do about cubies now. Like, I got to have all of them. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, to be honest, I know that they said headquarters skins will only be cosmetic, but I think it would be really cool if they each had like some type of buff or functionality, like, because, no one can even see them. Like what is the point of it? You alone can see your headquarters skin. Like no one knows you have it. So at least you should get some benefit from it. Yeah.
Well, if you listen to the Q&A afterwards, I think it was K-Hag asked about the display cases. I think it was K-Hag.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been someone else.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
Yeah.
And asked, like, is there going to be any functionality there? And, like, I think Illusion Weaver at that point said he imagines, like, at some point you can walk into someone's house and see their display cases and blah, blah, blah. So I feel like in the future, you're going to be able to see other people's skins somehow. Like, maybe from the leaderboard, you can click and go in their headquarters and see their display cases and, like, see their accomplishments on the wall and stuff like that.
You better, because those things are like a red key. So that's all I'm going to say is they better make it fucking cool.
Hey,
because the fact that we have to spend more resin to even wear the skin, I'm a little annoyed about, but I just want to wear it. So that's a great upgrade in my opinion. I just want to be able to wear it.
It's not just that. I'm sure we're going to have headquarters level 6 and 7. So you got to spend that to get that. Oh, yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Why not?
Oh, wow.
Why not? I mean,
this game is just
eventual.
getting started. Yeah, this game is just getting started.
Yeah.
There's so much more that the QBverse has to offer, but for right now, I'm like, don't release these things if I can't wear it for a year. What the heck?
Yeah.
I want to wear it right now. We're going to Hawaii next month. I want to be in my tiki hut.
Yeah. So I've noticed that most of the people in the chat are going to bed.
I know. This is probably our longest stream to date.
Wait, but we're not even halfway through the topics.
I know. And honestly, I personally would also love to, but I stream out of my bedroom, and I'm sure my boyfriend also wants to go to sleep.
Oh, no.
We might have to break this up into 2 parts.
That's what I was thinking. Like, maybe we should do a part 2 next week.
Yeah, we should do part 2 because there's still a lot.
There's a lot.
Still a lot to talk about as far as this.
The Briz, are you available next Sunday? Just so...
let me look at my calendar really quick.
Let's book this right now. So everybody can look forward to it for next weekend.
Yeah.
Nikki, I'm impressed you're still here because I know you're like an hour ahead. So it's like after midnight for Nikki, and Nikki's still here.
I trashed you. Go walk for your keys. It's getting there. It's almost 3 a.m, isn't it? No.
Oh, yeah.
It's 11 where I am, and I'm on Central, so East Coast it's midnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not bad. But for a Sunday,
Nikki, you can hear the rest if we do it next week. You're here almost every week, so, it's not like you're going anywhere, right?
Next Sunday, so we can do part 2 then if you guys want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think making them too much longer than 3 hours is not necessarily the greatest idea, especially because my computer might not be able to handle that file.
Oh,
yeah,
that
I don't know if
makes
my phone will be able to handle the.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
battery is probably.
Yeah. And we've
But
got other
no,
people
this
saying they would
is-
love a part 2 because they were just about to go to bed too. So
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
also
just do
so Briz, I'm so happy that we were able to get to know you more in
Yeah.
this
Oh.
episode and like focus in on that, because obviously everybody wants to talk about Hunter's Lodge and all of that
Yeah.
fun stuff, and that's like that will be its own episode. So we're gonna
Yeah.
need to break this up into two.
Yeah.
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 And
For
that's
the
what I
content
always wanted this
purposes.
to be. Like, I want to get to know hunters who hunters are. Like, because,
Yeah.
I know
Yes.
who they are as hunters. We see that all the time. Like, I want to know who
Sure,
these people
you wear your
actually
yellow
are.
dragon QB. We
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
But we want to know you.
Yeah. And now we do. And I learned so much tonight. I loved it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
And that was another thing that we like passed by, because a lot of people were in the chat that like super educational and entertainment, and we were getting a lot of love for how much information you were giving. So please
Oh, okay.
don't hold back on that.
No.
Everybody was loving it. So
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting
I feel
to
great.
Get so much information about El Salvador either. Like, that was gold. I mean, none of us
Totally.
have done it, so we don't know how it goes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so we will have a part 2 next Sunday. Hopefully, y'all join us. Alex is going to bed. Nikki's staying up. Crashman's just about to start going walking for keys. But yeah, next week we can definitely do this again. We'll have more live people. There'll be more questions, I'm sure. Probably people will have listened to this and we'll have even more questions for you about bees in El Salvador. So we'll have to make sure we collect those. So if you guys listen to this episode and have questions for the Brizzler, let us know, or let the Brizzler know. Either way. And I'm sure we can answer them for you next week.
For sure.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. A part 2.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yes.
We knew, all three of us knew that this episode was not going to be short by any means.
Yeah.
So I'm
all like
glad
to
that
talk.
we're breaking up. Yeah. I'm glad we're breaking it up into 2 and maybe even 3, because we're going to have to catch up on our Hawaii quests and all the fun stuff. So
yeah, and I'm out of beer,
it's not the
and I
last
didn't
time.
bring a spare liquid, and my mouth is parched. So, okay.
Well, this was so fun. We cannot thank you enough for coming on, and we can't wait for next Sunday.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm like really happy that someone wanted me on their podcast. So
Oh yeah.
thank you.
You got a lot of good stuff to share. So
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to continuing next Sunday with y'all.
Me too. Me too. Well, happy hunting, everybody. Don't forget your mystery boxes. I'm going to grab mine right now. And yeah.
We'll see you next week. Happy
Cheers.
hunting.
Save the bees, everybody. Save the bees.
Save the bees.
Bye, y'all.